There we go. Gonna set this up on the piano.
Oh, nice.
For the nobles.
Does she have a tip jar?
Oh, that's Mr. Bucket. Already
Ah,
planned that out.
Oh my
There we
God.
go.
I love
He'll
it.
just sit on top of the piano, next to the request board.
All right. Let's make like a tree and make this happen. Yeah. Yeah, it works. Okay. So, perfect timing for Great Fairies Fountain to come in. All right. So last time you did a whole lot of exploration of the Vertelaine Manor. You spent a few days ripping apart parts of the house, building a backyard workshop of sorts, disposing of a body, disposing of hazardous chemicals that dissolved that body, throwing a bunch of shit over the side of a cliff, probably murdering several goats.
Poor goats.
They
Maybe,
deserved it.
maybe like some poor children that were playing at the bottom of the cliffs. You never know. It's pretty far down. But um, that was pretty much the extent of the last session. A lot got done in a very short amount of time. I feel like a lot happened, but not a lot got done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people doing things simultaneously,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the dresses, the signet rings,
Right.
well,
the
everyone's
way-
outfits.
I fucking love all the side content that you guys are doing. That includes the journals, the newsletter, the pictures,
newsletter.
the bonus stuff. Oh my gosh, it's all
So
so
good.
good. It makes me feel so good as a DM. So legitimately, thank you.
Well, I got another one for you sometime during the session. That's why my elbow's fucked up, because it took me so long to do it.
Draw a dress or something that you guys wearing?
It was just, I don't know why, just the mouse hand motions combined with the repetitive nature just fucked up my elbow.
Alright.
It's weird. It's like, I've never had that happen from the amount, like, I'll be playing Final Fantasy for like 12 hours straight or whatever, and it's like, Marm's
Never
fine.
do that.
I have in the past.
Okay. Anyway.
Did that during
With that said, we now have a day and a half until the gala.
That's
more or less.
totally just like the panning through the trees
That was
opening.
kinda perfect, wasn't it? And you receive several gifts and acceptance notices from the noble houses of Ishgard. You also receive a very small, very interesting miniature aetheryte that sits in the entryway. And all of you had a very interesting shared dream, although I don't think any of you talked about it yet.
I don't think we
right after
woke
it came
up
in.
from that yet.
Oh, right. So this is going to be the morning, and then actually the gala would be tonight. Yeah, based on the time, right?
It was
Well,
it was originally set for tonight, but then it got pushed back 2 days to the 3rd.
Yeah, so 'cause it was going to be, we
Today's
had,
the first,
Today's the 1st, yeah.
which is why you put the newsletter out.
yeah, because we have one whole day and then a half day.
Okay, I'm just trying to get my timelines right.
Yeah, because like you said, like I guess still got to talk to Garland.
Yeah, it's more
and
like a
stuff
day and a half.
Yeah,
So,
but Sid is back today.
Mhm.
The other Sid.
Not Sid.
Yeah.
I mean, he absolutely is Sid.
And
That's
all the
his
journal
full-
entries. He
That's
is
his full name.
not out. Yeah, I know, but just in all the journal entries, it is not Sid Pikeman.
Okay.
Just like our Sid is Bone Daddy in all the journals.
Yeah. So why would you need to call him not Sid if Bone Daddy is Bone Daddy?
Because I believe not Sid came up first. I can't remember.
Okay.
And to deliberately confuse people who read Millie's journals without her knowing.
Okay. Well, with that said, we are in Ishgard. It is the morning. All of you had that lovely, interesting dream. And
Okay, what did we see in the dream again? Was it
you
emptiness?
saw a
or-
gigantic floating crystal
Gotcha.
against a sea of blues and purples and blacks, and you felt a resonance from it that said, "Hear, feel, think," and that's it.
Here is in listen or here is in location?
Listen.
Listen, HEAR.
I forgot to write that down.
Okay. With that said, go. Anyone?
Notes.
Sherbin's
Thank
gonna
you.
hit up the library inside of the Verlaine house.
So, okay. So there's a library in Sid's room. There's an actual library for general consumption, and then there's the hidden library downstairs. Which one?
The general one, to be polite.
Sure. You're not just gonna barge into Sid's room.
I mean, we already did that, so
True.
it's public domain now.
So Sid, the staff has set up candles for you, and in the few days since you wrote your fireside chat, they also hired craftsmen to come in and replaster the walls and put the sconces back in. They gave explicit instructions to leave uncovered the part of the wall that was leading to the secret room. So yeah. So Sherbin, you're in the library,
Yes.
looking for anything in particular.
Just browsing.
Okay. You find a porn collection.
Yeah.
Vintage. No. All right. Anyone else?
Yeah, Miller's gonna hunt down Beatrice. And is the crystal that person dropped off? Is it floating or is it like a potted plant? How does it look?
Jess, can you post a picture of a miniature aetheryte in the chat?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know it looks like that.
Yes.
Then Millie's gonna grab that and then go find Beatrice.
It's strangely hard to move. It doesn't want to move from where it's been placed.
But it does move, or it slowly.
You're having a lot of trouble picking it up.
Okay, then I'm gonna go grab Beatrice and drag Beatrice to the crystal.
Yeehaw.
You go find Beatrice, and one thing that you notice about her is, since her recent promotion, she splurged a little, and that wasn't meant to sound dirty.
Not Miss Miller.
She got. By the way, I love that Min Miller tried to set Sid up with somebody, and she thought that he was too much of a shut-in. I love it. Anyway, she's dressed up a little bit. She looks more the part. She looks more official. She no longer looks like awkward. She's kind of got an air of confidence about her to accompany the new duds.
Nice.
Yeah. So you find her in the kitchen as she's giving various orders to some of the household staff of what they should be doing.
And she's Ellison, right?
She is an Ellison.
Cool.
Wait, I'm pretty sure she was an Ellison. Did I?
I feel like all the house staff were Ellison.
No, that's not true. They weren't. There were several higher mixed in there. I think Beatrice was Ellison.
Okay.
So, unless I contradicted myself, in which case I'm sure somebody will let me know at some point.
The only house staff I remember being not Ellison were the Lalafels at the other house.
That's not your house staff.
Yeah, I know. I just
So no, it's a mix of Ellison and higher, but more Ellison than higher.
well, I'll wait for her to stop giving orders, and then I'll just drag her because she's
Billy,
taller than
I
me.
didn't see you there. You really must speak up. I'm sorry.
So yeah,
What can I do for
you? Drag her it's by the door where the crystal is, and then just.
I don't know. It looks very much like a sculpture of the aetheryte that you could find in Foundation. Well, the note says that it comes from the House of Ward, a one-man filia. Thank you, Gus.
Is that with an F or a PH?
F.
F. Says the guy who recently looked it up. Guess how
I
know?
remember Minfilia.
Yeah, but you spelled her last name correctly. It has an E at the end, and there's no way you would have known that unless you looked it up.
Well, I had to actually know how to spell her name.
Yeah, I know. I'm not upset.
Okay. Well, what time of day is it? Was it like early morning or?
It's like 8 a.m.
Cool.
That's generally when I have you all wake up, unless you tell me otherwise.
Yeah, well, that doesn't answer her questions, but it's enough. She's gonna go back to her room and gather some stuff.
All right. Have a good day.
She's gonna go find Deus.
Okay. So around 8 o'clock, I'd be coming out of my room. I'll go over to Kevin's.
Do you have a dais in your room?
No, it's all flat.
Because then he could find you on the dais on the dais.
True. Redundant, but true.
I mean, if you put a dais on top of a dais and you're standing on top of that dais, then you'd be on the dais on the dais.
Deus is more a pedestal guy.
I'm sorry.
Hey, KT, it's time for breakfast. Come on down. And then
What? Yeah, DX, I was already up. Oh, wait. You're not up this early.
You confused Bob.
Oh, sorry.
I was already up. I was actually going to go and try to wake everyone for breakfast. What are you doing up so early?
Well, I figured you were going to go and wake me up, and I didn't want to get you woken up, so I woke up first, and then I'm going to wake you up, but you're already awake.
So sharp. You seem like super ready for the day today, DX.
I am. Yeah, we got lots to do. Got a party to plan and all this great stuff to do.
All right. Everything all right?
Oh, yeah. Other than these weird dreams I've been having about, hearing and feeling and thinking, which I know you don't like to think too much, so I don't think it's about you.
Yeah. I mean, yes, and yeah, I was having a strange dream as well. I just thought, maybe it's just being away from the family for so long. But it was nice. I felt happy.
Yeah, well, good. You need to find some happiness, right? I mean, we've been away from our family for so long, it seems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's go down and get some breakfast. Make sure everyone's awake. I'll knock on their doors as loud as I can as I come on down.
Okay, but they probably hear you already, but okay. We're going to go down to the breakfast nook and get some porridge.
And Kevin's waking up everyone else?
Yep.
Loudly.
Okay, sure. Kevin knocks on everyone's door who's not already awake. You can determine whether or not you're already awake or if you're jolted awake by Kevin's knocking. Downstairs, you find that one of the chefs is already making breakfast. It smells like bacon and eggs, but you specifically want porridge. Okay, so they set aside the bacon and eggs and begin mixing a bowl of porridge.
Good old gruel like Mom used to make.
Here you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, do you want to tip?
Hey, Beatrice, you around? Beatrice.
I'm here, Master Kevin.
Yeah. I just want to make sure everything was good for the party. The pinatas are all good to go. You got the whacking stick, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I like whacking that stick as much as I can. Giving it a good long stride always feels good. I want to make sure that all the party goers can get a good hand on that whacking stick, because if it flies off too fast, it might hit someone in the eye, and that's never any good.
It's very considerate of you, Master Kevin. I'm well aware of the dangers of playing with a stick too fast.
Hey, exactly. All right, and you got the hors d'oeuvres. That's what the missus used to call them.
I'm sure she did. They'll be ready.
Okay, we gotta have a lot of hors d'oeuvres. So what's there to eat at this party? Not that I get hungry all the time, but it'd be good to know what there is to eat around.
Well, I've prepared several portions of cooked pig. There will be at least 5 of those. We have a lot of finger foods going around as well.
Oh, whoa! I don't want to eat any fingers. That's disgusting. Look, you guys have weird traditions here, all right? But eating fingers is not humane. I would only do it if I was in like a real bad situation, starving to death. I might eat a finger.
Would it be all right if we put out small crackers with cheese on it?
Oh, that'd be great. Maybe you should put that right next to the hors d'oeuvres.
Yes, indeed.
So hamburgers blew Kevin's mind, but what's going to happen when we introduce him to chicken fingers? But if we don't tell them they're chicken fingers,
Oh,
just
God.
feed them strips of chicken that are breaded.
Now,
Find
what
out.
about the things to drink? I mean, we got to have a lot of different types of alcohol, I would assume, right?
Libations will be provided.
Yeah, but what about alcohol?
Well, in that case, in addition to the libations, we shall also have several kegs of wine.
That's all right. Well, what about beer or mead?
We can send out for some ale as well, if the master would like us to.
Yeah. I'm sure Master Asile would love to have some beer. Definitely something to drink, you know.
Your nicknames are just so nice for each
Oh,
other.
that's not a nickname. That's how you pronounce the name. I think I'm saying it right.
I will keep that in mind for the next time I address him. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're very welcome. Make sure you don't get it wrong now.
Yes. Is there anything else I can do?
Yeah, just the last question. How good are you at catching things? I just want to know if I should toss something to you, if you're actually going to catch it. Something horrible happened with some other weird slave, and I just want to make sure you can catch.
Well, I've helped to deliver 3 children. You could say my catching skills are decent.
Wow. All right. Well, good to know.
It's Elzen tradition to give birth atop a staircase.
What are you talking about?
Catching.
I mean, that's... never mind.
Just make sure all the other slaves know what's going on. You know, I want this to be a good party for Master Asilo. You know, I want to make sure he's proud and happy, and we do right for him. You know, he's been good to us.
You know, I'm sure I'm talking to a wall when I say this again, but none of the household staff are slaves, Master Kevin.
Well, do they serve us?
They are servants who have their own lives and are paid.
Wait, we pay them?
Of course.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna have to talk to Master Asilo, but you keep going about your business.
I will do just that. Thank you, Master Kevin, and she curtsies and leaves as quickly as possible.
Smart woman.
I head up to Sid's room. Hey, Sid, you there?
I am not there. I am actually following around various workers trying to help.
Look around the house. Hey, Sid, you around somewhere? See, I hear we don't pay we're paying the slaves. That's insane. How are we supposed to make any money paying slaves?
Kevin, what, Kevin?
Oh, there you are. Hey, I checked your room. You weren't there.
Yeah, I've been trying to help out where I can. I mean, I feel weird just kind of sitting around. I figured
What slaves are for? Beatrice says you pay the slaves.
they're not slaves, Kevin.
The workers look very uncomfortable right now.
Wait, how are you supposed to make any money?
We don't
Oh my God.
we don't make money. They're doing things for us, so we pay them. That's how services work, Kevin.
Wait a second. So you're saying, I wish Inti was here because Inti knew the slave thing real well, but you pay these ones because they're working for us, but don't slaves work for free? So why would you want to pay them?
But see, this is the difference, Kevin. They're not slaves; they're employees. Much like we are the employees of Cliffside Incorporated.
No, I'm a citizen. No, I'm the owner / president / CEO of Cliffside Incorporated. That's different.
Okay. So you're the owner / CEO / yeah. And what does that make all of us?
Yeah, my workers, because we go and work and make money.
Okay, so now when we do things, we would expect to be paid, correct?
But you're all part owners of the company, even though I have most of the shares of the company. But you see, these are slaves and they don't own anything. Like, that's right.
Well, Okay,
Violation.
let's say we had to get extra help, and we needed to bring some other people in to do something or other. Those people would be working for us, would they not?
Yes, they would.
So they would be providing us with a service, and they would expect payment, correct?
I would think so.
So you see how that concept is
Yeah.
exactly the same as the concept I'm talking about right here.
Nope. Sid, it's not, because first off, you have slave quarters. You also have a slave master, the head slave. What do you call him? The slave, Nope, not gonna say that. The slave being slaver, the house slaver.
Slave, is that what you were going for?
No, he was going
I don't know what I was
for what
going
transaction.
I know, but his position is head house slave in the left.
The house slave.
Okay. You're referencing Beatrice. Beatrice is the steward.
Okay, so got it. Aren't slaves, won't call them slaves. I will definitely try to find you some slaves, because I think it's silly that you're not paying these people. But I'll let you do your thing for right now. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Sid, you've been nothing but kind, letting us live in your nice fancy mansion, and I got you, Sid. I give a big pat on the back. I'm gonna head out to the market to try to find some slaves.
I really feel like I should stop him, but I'm not.
I just want to say that was the most Professor Sid moment ever.
You should confiscate his signet ring before he goes to try to find slaves on your behalf.
Has he given him the signet ring yet?
I thought they were all passed out.
I passed them out.
Yep, I got the signet ring on.
Kevin's is a Halloween spider ring.
Oh God. Those are the silliest things ever. Okay, so Kevin has very loudly left the house.
We're going to the ironworks.
Okay. You hear Kevin leave the house behind you as you're on your way to the ironworks.
I'm heading to the Forgotten Night.
Which is
The tavern?
It's the same direction you're heading.
Fuck.
Oh, that's where I'm going. The tavern.
Okay.
Well, we're going to the manufactory.
Oh yeah, well that's like right across the street almost.
It's not called the ironworks.
This guy's still manufacturing.
Yeah, I know where you wanted to go, though. Yeah. We're going to go and try to get a player piano going and talk to Not Sid and do some other stuff. Okay, bye, Kevin.
Oh, I didn't know you were talking to me. Oh, yeah.
You're following us around.
I'm so sorry. DX, I'm so
Recapping
sorry.
to Millie the plans that Millie told Dan.
Yeah.
Sid was just filling my head with all this like crazy talk about slaves and not slaves, and anyway, I'm going to the Forgotten Night. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on, and if we can acquire slaves, and what the whole deal is, I mean, Sid sure is nice, but sometimes it gets so professory, and he uses those big words. It's hard for me to understand.
Oh, yeah, that's why he was teaching us, because he knows all those big words.
It's true. No, it's true. Anyway, if you need anything, I'll probably be back home in a bit, but gonna stop and see if I can pick up some slaves for us.
Okay. Millie said to keep an eye out for suspicious-looking crystals, too, so if you see any, beware.
Just looking crystals, got it. Hey, what does that say, Millie? I don't know.
Oh, yes. Unpaid interns.
What's an intern?
Oh, well, an intern is like a worker, but sometimes you don't pay them. They might actually be what you're looking for.
Oh,
an intern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I will look for that. I'll call them that. And you know what? We'll build a bunch of houses for them to live. We could just call it a camp, and we'll put them in the intern camp. It'll be great.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, everybody loves camping, Kevin, so I think that's a great idea.
Right? They're not going to have any power out there, so yeah, perfect. I'm so glad I ran into you, DX. Good luck, Millie, too. I'll talk to you guys later. And he runs off.
Right. That started out really wholesome. Like, let's go find some people and build them houses, and then it turned into a racist joke.
Deus and Millie book it before the impending piano meteor strike.
There was no joke. Okay, Kevin's trying to be helpful.
Right.
They're unpaid interns. You know, you'd want to get slave quarters. These are interns, so I'm gonna put them in a camp.
Well, by those interns, you meant well. Sorry. That was bad. All right. Okay. You're on your way. You split from Kevin as quickly as possible. Take the long way to the Sky Steel Manufactory. As Kevin heads straight towards the Forgotten Night, and yet you still arrive first. So, the sound of hammers banging, the smell of steam and metal fill your nostrils as soon as the doors open to the Sky Steel Manufactory.
Ah, do you smell that, Millie? I love a good pounding in the morning. And Gwen.
So anyway, there's a bunch of workers in there. You're immediately noticed by, I can't remember her name all of a sudden at the front desk.
I don't either.
Did I give a name?
I feel like you did, and I don't know if Millie cared to pay attention because it wasn't Sid.
Was it Roberta?
Might have been. That sounds familiar. Anyway, Roberta is the person at the desk now, regardless of who the other person was. And notices you, recognizes you, says, "Oh, welcome. Where will you be working today?"
Around.
Gotta be a little bit more specific if I'm gonna rent you table space.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do that. Run us some table space, please.
Very well. I think, how's that one back there? And she points to one kind of tucked away. It's not near the door, not near the restroom. It's just kind of in the corner.
Oh, yeah. Secluded, I like it.
Oh, Sid. Sid's upstairs. Is he expecting you? Oh, that's weird. All right.
Up she goes.
Okay. Tell him not to forget to hydrate. And you get up there and you see Sid, and Sid is just like looking over the new lift that you made for him and you left there. He's like,
The first one?
yeah, because it's the first chance he's really had to sit down and look at it. Really is a fascinating contraption. I wonder how she... Oh, Billy! There you are!
He's got a table in front of him, right? Because there's
Yes.
a table up there. So just dump out the other 3 new lifts that her and Deus made during the other downtime.
They all look... You made these by hand. They all look identical. That's very impressive. It's very difficult to have this kind of craftsmanship on even one of them, but you've made 4. Very good. I have something for you.
Just pull out a jar of Tiamon's preserved eyes.
His eyes go wide. No. I'm not the one that would be able to make good use of that, you understand. However, perhaps find an alchemist of some sort. Maybe a powerful mage. Fortunately, you won't find a lot of those in Ishgard. Well, if it's alchemy you're looking for, I recommend trying Uldar. You'll also find the Thaumaturgers Guild there. They might be able to make use of it. Gridania doesn't really have the kind of magics that would focus on that. There are a lot of white mages and conjurers there, you see. Not necessarily the arcane type.
That's racist.
Yes, I know it sounds racist, but what are you writing then? No, sorry.
I'm writing my local congressman about this establishment.
Very nice. I have something for you. And he takes out a small box and places it in front of you. Yeah, it opens up to reveal like a padded bottom, like a ring box, and sitting there is a perfectly spherical bullet. That was not easy. Whatever magic was on those bones, something quite strong. But let me tell you, nothing stops old Sid when he gets going. Oh, I wouldn't repeat that anywhere near Ishtar.
I don't know why, but I just pictured in my head a Hennessy-based energy drink powered by Hennessy. Sounds disgusting.
It sounds awful. Couldn't chug it either.
So how big is the bullet? Like how much did he have to shape down to? Because I think it was like golf ball-ish size to begin with.
Now it is about it's slightly larger than an average bullet that you would normally use. It's like somewhere in between a normal musket bullet and a golf ball. It's like midway point between.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Then she'll take out her shotgun and.
It slides in.
Hmm. She asks the question.
Oh yes, it absolutely should be. I would tell you to practice on that target there if I weren't worried about the sound reverberating around in here, scaring everybody. Oh yes, certainly wouldn't want you to do that.
She'll carefully put the eyeballs away just in case there's some sound shockwave nonsense. And then just very exaggerated, like a yawn at a movie theater. Just.
It makes a very loud sound, louder than normal bullets would, for some reason.
Powered by the screams of the dead.
You hear screams as it's shot.
Awesome.
Like legitimately, it's the sound of a bullet firing, magnified and backed by screams. Then you hear screams from downstairs as people run. However, your bullet is not only did it hit the target, it's lodged into the target in one piece. Should be.
I'm sure he's got tongs somewhere. She'll tong it out of the target.
Okay. It gives off a little bit of heat, but probably safe to handle.
Cool. She'll just put that in her pocket.
Good place for a demon bullet.
Yes.
A player piano. That would certainly be a lot tamer than most of the things that are made in here. When do you need it by? I'm certain we can make it given enough time.
Yeah, those are abbreviations.
Oh. That I'm not certain we can make it in time for. I see. So you want to build a contraption to play it, but build it into a working piano. Well, I'm certain if you go ask Roberta downstairs, she's got the plans. Filed away somewhere under probably musical instruments. Wait, tomorrow night? Is that the Verdeling Gala? I think I received an invitation for that. going back there anytime today. Perhaps you can take my response. Like looks around. He finds he finds the miniature airship. And he's like, here, give this to the estate with my acceptance of their invitation. Sorry, I don't have a better gift to give them, but don't tell them that at the moment.
Is the airship in the same design in that it's a balloon held aloft over an actual ship?
Yes,
Can the soldier mini fit on the airship?
they're about the same size.
Can he hang from the airship?
Sure you could.
Excellent. Cool. Omi's gonna be really happy with that. She's gonna take that, put the knight on it, and then grab a string and tie the string and hold it like a balloon, and then just run down and go get Davis.
You actually hear Sid just cracking up upstairs. I like the spunk on that one. And then you're out of earshot.
Oh, and she goes and asks Roberta for the player piano specifications.
Yeah,
Blueprints.
piano. Would that be the piano that plays by itself? Let me look. And you see her literally lift open a cellar door in the floor, and she climbs down the ladder.
I don't know why, I just feel like that's where like the naughty machinist interns are banished to the blueprint basement.
Oh, God. Maybe. Good 10 minutes go by, and she comes back up, and she's holding schematics for several different instruments. You said piano, right? Was that baby, grand, half?
I'm assuming grand based off of a noble estate.
All right. Does she need any other instruments that would play themselves? All right. She just throws them back down there. I'll clean it up tomorrow. Here you go. And she puts down the schematics. That will be 14 gold pieces.
Plop.
Do remember to return that, or it'll be quite a bit more expensive. Oh, well, there's no strict timeline, but we generally like to have them back within a week.
Cool. Well, she very delicately carries the blueprints to go meet up with Deus.
Oh yes, take care of those. As she's scratching the back of her head and looking down the trapdoor.
Like, those were valuable. I realize this now.
Oh, Millie, was that loud noise upstairs you?
What are you making?
Elephant gun?
An elephant gun?
Yeah. Just a shotgun, but fire slugs.
Oh, I'm aware. I wasn't assuming it was a gun in the shape of an elephant. Although...
Funny you mentioned that. There's an elephant in the shape of a sword in One Piece. It's a weird fucking game. Show. Movie.
I have no
Yeah.
desire to watch that.
Yeah, so Millie will take... well, first she'll point to the cool little airship, the little dangling knight guy hanging from it.
Oh,
The knight looks terrified.
yeah, I've seen real soldiers look terrified in this position, so... Yeah. Very, very not traumatic, Millie. I'm glad you got a new toy.
And Millie will hand over the bullet for investigation.
Ooh. Pulling on my eagle-eye goggles, like looking like on the little
Sure.
porous surface of it.
As you're looking at it, the surface of the bullet looks like it's moving, as if it's comprised of a million ants, all kind of condensed into one thing, but still able to move around. But when you're
That's
looking at it, when you
cool.
feel it, it seems completely solid. Nothing's crawling on you.
If I didn't know better, I think this was crawling with the souls of the damned, but very nice.
Oh, whose turn is it to write this week?
Me.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so he's going to the party. That's really good. Okay. At least we'll know somebody else there, huh? Oh, I'll be staying here until this is done. So I'll catch you later at the manor.
All right. Then Millie's gonna head back. We'll say, I guess. Well, she would have already dropped off the dress order retroactively with when they went.
Yeah, we did that like a couple days ago during the downtime.
Yeah. Then she'll just take the stuff back to Sid, give the airship to be, and he wrote a letter, right? Or just gave the airship.
You just gave the airship and said,
Okay.
my yes.
Then she'll go to find Beatrice or Sid before she starts working on the player piano modification.
Okay.
And I think that'd be the extent of Millie's downtime stuff for the day and a half.
Okay.
Same for you?
Yeah, I'm just working on that and then I'm going to go back to that.
Okay. Kevin, you arrive at the Forgotten Night.
I head over to the barkeep.
Hello?
Hey, long time no see.
Do you even remember my name?
I don't, and I barely remember you. Well, I do know you serve the drinks, and that's an important role. And plus, last time I was here, I was playing a real long game of Facey
I
Slapping,
remember.
and
I remember.
I was winning a lot. Hey, quick question for you, because you seem like a person that knows this town very well.
I do?
For all the masters of the different houses around, right? Where do they acquire their slaves / unpaid interns?
And now the noise of the entire bar stops. And all the people that were sitting there drinking, eating, sitting by the fire, all of them turn and look at you. Did you just say slaves?
Yeah, slaves and or unpaid interns.
Right. Well, there are no slaves in Ishgard. I'm not sure what it's like where you come from. Rogadins are a mystery to me. But if you were looking to hire skilled workers, I'm sure I could point you in the right direction. But you will have to pay them.
Oh, nope, not at all. Thanks so much for your help. Have a good one. And I head back home, just for the sake of brevity.
I really hope he gets tried as a heretic someday. And then
Again.
yeah. So you head back. Lanfifi, what would you like to do this morning?
Hi. I've kind of been in and out, so what's everyone kind of doing?
Deus and Millie are working on various technological things. Deus is working on a gun. Millie's working on adding a player piano modification to Sid's piano. And then Kevin just got back from a failed attempt to acquire slaves.
/ unpaid interns.
/ unpaid interns. And then Sherbin was in the library just reading, or was there... I forget what Sherbin was up to.
Browsing.
Or porn. And Sid was to the annoying...
Puttering and annoying workers in the house.
Yes.
And how long is it before the party thing?
Day and a half.
Okay, have our dresses or whatever arrived?
Did you order a dress?
I'm assuming I did when everyone was just kind of giving out orders.
Why
But
don't you describe your dress that just got delivered from the Mega Sisters?
Fifi probably wouldn't have cared, so she would have just left it up to them. So
Did Deus get a dress too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so
It was-
Deus and Millie and Lanfifi
and I have to come up with dresses for all of you, or did
Oh,
you?
I already came up. Remember,
Yeah.
I did the screenshots.
Yeah,
of
I got a little red dress
And
and a
I
little
thought,
slit on the
Sid
Yeah,
is
it's
one
in
shot.
Deus's journal.
That's right. My bad. Okay, well for Lanfifi, yeah, I remember now. Sorry. It's been a long day, in case you couldn't tell by my inability to name the wine I was drinking. Anyway, all right, Lanfifi, your dress is the frilliest, laciest, flowing dress ever. It has a tail that stretches essentially your height behind you, So it's like 3 feet of tail that follows around behind the dress. It's got a bustle that you put on behind you to make it look like you have a huge ass, which is kind of weird.
On the proportions.
It is a striking green and white, matching Professor Gale's colors. And it is inlaid with emeralds and topaz. It's mainly, instead of like full emeralds and topaz, it's more like dust of it, kind of like diamond dust, but of emeralds and topaz. And it's sequined over the dress. It's very modest, though, as if it's a dress for a noble child.
I was totally picturing just like some
Sure.
ceramic doll dress.
That's what you get for leaving it up to me.
Phoebe doesn't
Well,
really care.
The Magus sisters,
Magus sisters.
Magus sisters. That
Cindy, Mindy, and
Sandy.
Sandy.
Yeah. I don't imagine they get a lot of Lalafell customers. They're like, what's Lalafell size? My daughter's doll.
Yeah. More or less. All right.
That's where she stores her spell books in the bustle.
Oh, okay. I like it.
And then she's just gonna be trying to cast her new spells and figuring out why she still can't cast some of the higher level ones.
Okay. Through the process of deduction, you realize that you don't have enough etherical energy swelling within you to be able to cast those higher level spells, and you think it'll probably just take a little bit of time. However, the other new spells that you do know, much to your delight, you are able to cast. Woo!
Sounds good.
Are you doing anything else?
Not especially.
Okay. Well, Sherbin, what are you doing?
She's gonna go out and she'll notice the small aetheryte. Would Sherman know what the aetheryte is? Like its purpose?
That depends. Do you think Sherbin's ever been to a residential area?
Oh yeah. As a gleaner? Yeah.
Okay. Well, why would gleaners go to a residential area?
Why not?
For a hit.
Sure, we'll say that you've been to one. So yes, you would know that it gives one the ability to teleport directly to a home within a particular location. But the spell only works if you're already in the general vicinity.
Is it only one way, or does it work both ways?
It's one way. I mean, the teleport spell would take you to an aetheryte. This one, if you're within the city or area where that aetheryte is, you can teleport to a miniature aetheryte.
So someone would be able to use it to teleport into Sid's house.
Theoretically, but they'd have to be attuned to it.
To the aetheryte?
Yes,
The
and
mini one?
you also have the ability to block the flow of aether to it. It has an off switch, more or less.
Okay. Sherman's definitely going to do that.
Okay.
For safety.
Damn, that was fast, Eric. Jesus.
I don't know, something like those.
Yeah, I like that. That's kind of perfect, actually. It's pretty close to what I had in my mind. A little bit more white than I was planning, but other than that, it's pretty good.
I was trying to find a much less flattering one.
Of course.
All right. So after
Stop playing with the wooden dice, Poe. This is your fault.
What happened now?
Yeah.
The wooden dice that you gave me, I can't stop playing with it.
They're so trippy because they feel like they should be so much heavier than they are.
Ooh. I almost don't want to roll. I just got a nat 1. Okay.
So after Sherman turns the power off, she's going to ask. It was already off? Oh, okay. Is Beerus around?
Is whom?
Oh wait, never mind. I just answered my own question. She's going to look for Sid.
At this point, I would have given up pestering the workers, instead going down into the cellar to sit at the entrance of the ritual room. Not in, just at the entrance.
Perfect.
So it's gonna take you a little bit of time to find him as you search the house, and then the last place that you look is downstairs in the cellar. Motherfucking fly! Landed on my face.
Gross.
Also,
Literally sitting cross-legged in the doorway with a bottle of wine, just looking inside.
Is the cellar descended, or are you sitting at where the door would be? If it was?
It's open. I'm just not in. I'm just sitting in front.
So that'd be Sherbet's clue, then she'd feel the house rumble.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Hello?
The floor hasn't descended yet, right?
They said it has.
No.
It has.
Yeah.
Okay, well then yes, anyone in the house would have felt the rumbling.
Oh no. Attack on Titan rumbling.
Yeah, Sherbet, I'm down here.
That, yeah.
Oh. Is everything all right? You look a
Yeah.
little stressed.
No. This is something I need to be thinking about eventually, but I don't know that I really want to think about it too much right now. Just
Anything in particular?
well, the still glowing circle is kind of concerning. I offer her the bottle of wine.
So she takes a swig.
How much has Sid had to drink at this point?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Maybe a quarter gone.
Okay.
At 8 in the morning.
I mean now.
No, okay, maybe
Now it's
noon.
yeah.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Wow. It's 5 o'clock and we'll die.
You could have the bottle of wine, but you also have a large amount of house staff. I could just see a train of mimosas that are empty, just because this house staff just kept giving him new drinks.
And I mean, come on! If Game of Thrones has taught me nothing, you can drink wine with any meal.
Game of Thrones could have taught you that Starbucks is a real thing in medieval land.
Also true.
Yeah, Starbucks.
But yeah, no, nothing's really horrible at the moment. So I'm just kind of reflecting.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
I'm gonna get that.
Well, if you ask me, I kind of like it. It gives the room a nice, how do you say, ambiance. If you're into that.
How you say it now?
I would
It's
agree
hard
with
to do
you.
it around.
I would agree with you if I didn't know what kind of things came out of them.
That's true. Well, do you feel anything malicious or
The whole room
anything?
feels malicious to me, but
What about those books? I've been wondering about the bookcase, the secret library that's down here. It's
well, I mean, it seems like only I'm able to read them or activate them at the very least.
Do you want to read them?
We can take a
Yeah,
look at
no.
one.
Let's go take a peek.
Sure.
So she stands up and she takes his hand and she leads him over to the bookcase, making sure to step around the circle.
Okay.
I pick a color.
Oh, are there specific colors there? Only specific colors?
Colors of the rainbow. They're organized by color.
Forgot.
Oh, let's try this violet one.
Violet one it is.
Violet, you're turning violet, Violet.
Take it out and open it up.
Okay. As you take it, you feel a small buzz, like an electrical shock, but not a painful one, and then it dissipates right away. But when you open it, all of the pages have words on them.
That feels like a zapper pens.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And we established that once I activate them, they stay working, correct?
It was for like 3 minutes or something like that.
I don't think anyone's tested that yet.
Well, I
I thought we did, but
opened one and gave it to Phoebe to look at,
Right.
and it had been with words
Right.
until it was closed.
That is correct.
okay. So until it's closed.
Reopened by Sid.
Okay. Let's see. Skim through this, see what the Violet book has to say.
Okay. Let me change the music real quick.
Roll initiative.
Or to be
Nope.
50 Shades of Erdeline.
Oh God.
It's fan fiction.
Poorly written fan fiction.
The rest of development, it's for Verdeline eyes only.
You always keep your dark rituals in the banana stand.
Okay.
I wanted a chocolate banana so much watching that show. Like every episode they ever mentioned, I'm like, that sounds fucking amazing.
Well, there's always money in the business.
Yes.
Okay. Anytime someone says Arrested Development, I picture the chicken dance.
Oh God.
That's why you always leave a note? What the fuck is that?
It's from Arrested Development.
Is it?
Yep.
Why do I not recognize that at
It's an
all?
ongoing thing. That's like where the first time this guy loses a hand. It doesn't matter.
Right, it's the guy the dad hires to teach lessons.
Oh my god. Alright.
It's so good. I
Alright,
love
that,
that
that derailed me.
Sorry.
Okay, what's in this book? Hold on. What's in this book? This book is talking about the nature of the astral plane.
Ooh.
And the reflections of the source.
Oh, Sid, hold on. I just thought of something. Wait right here. Let me go up and get a pen and parchment, and then I'll come down and take notes as you read to me what's in the book. Yes?
Okay.
All right, hold on. I'll be right back.
Doing drive-bys.
Yeah,
Hey, Christian.
first.
Did it?
Yeah.
What the fuck is it?
I just came up with the best idea involving that circle. So Millie's gonna take her demon zombie ball and play marbles in the circle. And
That
see
can't go poorly at all.
Wouldn't you need more than one, though?
Well, it'll be with regular marbles. That'll just be the shooter marble.
Oh, I thought she was going to use, like, skulls or something.
Millie makes friends with a demon by playing marbles with it.
It'd be like the demon keeps trying to make a deal, but since Millie can't talk, it can't make a deal. It can't verbalize the contract, and so she's gonna play marbles.
They just settle for marbles.
The universal trade language of the underworld that no one knew.
Alright.
She can play a fiddle, she can play a piano.
The most jarring thing upon reading these pages is that the handwriting is 99% identical to your own.
Sorry, shop floor.
I've never used this track before, and that's
Perfect timing.
So you said you're down there too?
No, it's a joke because of the screams from the bullet. I shot the floor by mistake.
You mentioned playing marbles in the circle. So.
Oh, that's, I'm working exclusively on the piano.
As you're reading the book, and this is for both of you, you feel as if the light in the room dims. Nothing's changed. The torches are still burning just as brightly, but it's as if they're not giving off the same amount of light. And the circle in the center of the room glows brighter, a blue and green kind of mixing into each other. That as you're reading the book, you'll find that this is part 27 of 54 volumes, encompassing the nature of the 13th reflection, known as the Void. The rantings and ravings within the page sound as if they should be scientific, but they come off as the ravings of a lunatic. The things that they're saying make no sense to you in any just and ordered world.
I read a lot of books as a kid about
Perfect. Second to the first.
things that are hidden, but this is beyond me.
This is so fascinating. Don't skip a word. I want to write down everything.
I just want to say that your mic cut out at the right moment, so it sounded like you said, "This is fucking fascinating," because it said, "This is so fascinating."
Uh,
94 and then
Well,
today.
no,
I'm going to kind of interpose myself between Sherbin and the circle and fire up the Newlith and just have it kind of floating by the entry doorway.
Okay.
that's more about, okay.
And I'll continue.
So 30,
Okay.
32, 32.
The next
and then today.
several pages
Um,
that you begin reading through.
third astral.
So essentially 5.
They detail the constellations as viewed from a reflection of the source. They all look wrong. It's hard to explain, but it's as if they're the same constellations that you've seen, but perverted and twisted.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's something wrong here. These constellations, they don't look right at all. They almost look bent in a way.
I mean, I trust your judgment on that, but is are they similar to what we're dealing with normally?
Constellations? Yes,
Yeah.
I'm very intimate with the constellations, and these look wrong. They look twisted. They look bent. They look like they're not supposed to be there, and yet they do. They should be there.
Huh.
Astral.
This is so fascinating. Continue.
Oh, okay.
So it would actually be 2 cycles.
Okay,
Do-
go ahead.
Because if it's 2
are you sure you want to continue with this one? You don't want to try a different book?
No.
Well, I'm afraid if you close it, then we won't be able to see what's left in it.
Well, I mean, I could always come back to it, but I suppose we could try to finish this one.
Do you want to leave it open?
Well, I can always come down and reopen the book, I would imagine.
No. Remember what happened to Fifi when she closed the book? It went poof. So
All right, I'll
yeah, let's just set it down on the floor, but leave it open.
all right.
All right, you pick a color this time.
Down. The room returns to its version of normalcy. It seems the same as when you first entered at this point.
Oh, this is so exciting. Pick a color, quick.
Yellow.
Okay. You cross the room to one of the other bookshelves, and you skim down, and you find 3 rows of yellow books, each one about an inch thick.
I'll go with the farthest left.
Okay. This is volume 72. The first page finishes a sentence. It just says CONT period at the top, and then below that the sentence says, "The strangest way that Earth magic has ever been utilized." That's the finishing.
Second.
And then the next sentence says, "I really must remember to get some larger books to write it."
Yes.
So it's off by 2 days.
As you read through this book, it seems to be long, very wordy musings on the nature of the various elements, of which there are 6. Which be earth, wind, fire. Music starts playing. No. Then there's also ice, lightning, and what am I forgetting? And wind. No, I said wind. Ice, lightning. What am I forgetting? There's 6. Earth, wind, fire, ice, lightning,
Water.
water.
No, you said that already. Earth, wind, fire. Oh wait, yeah, water. Yeah, that's it.
Water.
Yeah, because Black Mage has fire and ice, White Mage has
Has
earth
water.
and air.
And White Mage also gets Aqua Veil, which is water. And Black Mages get Thunder. That's their god.
Yep.
Don't make a racist joke. Okay. So, it's talking about those, but it's also talking about how they relate in terms to umbral and astral, light or dark and light, respectively. And it's talking about how the commonly understood associations of each element with light or dark is more than likely misunderstood. And it's not really elaborated on beyond that. But he underlined that 4 times.
This seems to be mainly magical theory, specifically having to do with the elements.
Do you think it might have something to do with what they were doing with the circle?
I well, I
Or
hope
even what happened with you and your brother? With what your parents tried to do?
well, that would be more of a summoning, and I don't know if that's what they're planning to do with this circle. If it is, this conduit has been open for a very, very long time.
It sounded, from what I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, this was a couple days ago, but the story you told us, didn't your parents sort of dabble in a bit of void,
Uh,
void things?
that's pretty accurate. Yeah, they
So wouldn't that also mean that they might have explored umbral, umbral theory?
I would imagine void would be associated with. Would it be astral or would it be umbral for it, void to be?
It sounds like it would be umbral.
Well, it makes sense. Does that have anything having to do with any kind of summoning in the theory, or
Mm,
Killed Lennon.
that's a very good question. You might, real quick, would Sherbin know about what the black mages do in Olda?
What about that?
Would she know what they do or what they're reputed to do as far
You
as
are not
dark magic?
you're not a black mage, and that is a closely held uh, secret teaching of the
So,
thaumaturges and black mages. So it's not something you would have any idea about.
but would she be aware of any rumors surrounding
No,
it?
the black mages are well respected, and they're not. There are essentially no rumors to any other effect.
Okay, that's a very good question. Usually, these sorts of dabblings, it's not a good idea to play with that. We could
oh,
try asking maybe some of the other schools, but more than likely we'd get some very nasty stares.
I agree. I have no interest in dabbling with that at the moment. While we're
What is
reading, while
is
we're
it?
reading this, the lights seem to be doing anything.
Does what seem to be doing anything?
The lights,
Yeah, as soon as you open this book, they
same
did
thing.
they did with the previous one. It's an I was gonna say similar, but it's an identical effect.
This is so annoying. Can Sherbin cast light on the bookcase?
Yes,
Uh,
it appears as a muted point of light, as if you put like a cloth over a flashlight. That's what
what
it
did
looks
what?
like.
What? I've never seen this happen. This is concerning.
It definitely is, and it seems to only be happening while we're reading these books.
Which means we're on the right track.
The right track to what?
Of finding out things. Like I said, there's reasons why these books are down here in this particular library. And you have questions about your family. So I think this would be a very good place to start. And you're the only person who can read from these pages.
You look over and you can actually see all the words on the pages that he's reading.
In what's it? If you want to, if you want to go through more of these books, and probably it might be a good idea for you not to say the words out loud. You could take one book, open it, and then I could transcribe from that book, and then you do the same to another book.
That makes sense, I suppose.
I mean, what else do you have to do today?
Nothing. I mean, might not be a terrible idea not to do it in this room, though.
True. Do you think? Do you think anything would happen if we take the books out of this room, though?
Never tried.
Do you want to try with one of the books? See what happens.
Sure. I'll take the book that I'm holding and walk. No, I won't leave the room, but I'll hold it outside of the doorway.
Okay, you're able to hold it outside the door.
The words remain.
Yeah.
Seems like it works.
All right. Sounds good to me. Do you want to start with the color and just work our way through the volumes?
Makes sense to me. Best way to do it rather than just randomly choosing.
All right. Wonderful. We have a lovely little project to do. Oh, this reminds me so much of when I was in the Astrologicum. All those wonderful late night times of studying for exams. Oh, I'd be locked in the library for hours. It was wonderful.
Locked in the library? Sounds like a punishment.
Well, when they
She was very studious.
Whatever it is,
She was like Bastion in the Neverending Story.
we're going to have to be very mindful of any changes around us, because if this continues, that might be something we need to be concerned about.
All right. I trust your judgment. And also, you can carry more books than I can. So let's get started.
So are you taking the books out of the room?
Carefully.
Okay. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw as soon as you breach the threshold of the room.
Both of us?
Whoever's holding the book.
I think we both are.
Well, there goes Sherman. Or Sid.
23.
Okay.
10.
Sherbin,
I think. Am I doing this right? It's supposed to be whatever your dice rolled plus your modifier, right?
Well, you should have
Your
up
save.
near your top. You should have a box that says saves. Because for wisdom being your primary stat, you probably are proficient in wisdom saves. So it would be your modifier plus 3
3.
plus your roll.
I think it's plus 7.
That would make sense. Like
Makes
mine
sense.
is
Yeah.
plus 7
Okay.
dex.
Oh, okay. Wow, I've been doing my saving rolls wrong.
Sid,
All right.
Sid, your legs feel heavy, and as you walk from the room, you can keep going, but your unease grows with every step. You feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You get goosebumps everywhere, and you have this compulsion to return to the room. Sherbin, you can't even leave the room.
I got
You try to
16.
You try to move your feet, and they just won't move. Like you can't will yourself into leaving the room.
Oh, this is not good.
Something's wrong. Drop the book.
All right.
Okay, you drop the book on the floor in the room, and your compulsion to stay there is gone.
You know, in hindsight, I wish we had something like this in the library at the Astrologicum, because you know how frustrating it is when you're looking for a particular book and it ends up being walked off the shelf. It's very
I don't think we have that issue here. Obviously, these books don't want to be taken.
no. But well, at least that's a good thing, because that means no one would have been able to take the books out of the room. So all of the books in this room should be the original copies, and all the copies should be accounted for then.
That's true. All right, if we're going to stay down here, then we should at least send word upstairs that that's where we are.
All right. Do you want me to bring anything back down? Pillows, blankets, an extra chair, some snacks?
Might not be a bad idea. More wine if we need it.
All right. I'll see if I can get well, do the servants know about this room?
Eh,
Down here Beatrice knows it exists. The other servants know that something came out of this area and killed Fremendane. They know that.
All right, I won't.
And
Cover story. Flawless.
All right, I won't ask the.
One thing that you would have learned is that Beatrice set rules after she was promoted that no servants are allowed down here without her or her permission.
All right. Well, let's go upstairs ourselves and get some supplies to have a little bit of a camp out down here. Sound all right?
Sounds good.
All right.
Is that the basement as a whole or the secret sub basement?
It's as soon as they get into it's the basement as a whole.
Oh.
That's more. I'm like trying to figure out the layout in my head, and it's just fuck it. It's the basement as a whole.
Gotcha.
Are you both going out to get supplies, or okay? So
I think so.
you're-
I can't carry it all.
Sid, did you put the books back in the room first? Okay.
Yeah.
You set them down.
Yeah.
Open or close?
Open.
All of them? You grabbed a handful, you said.
No, just the violet one that was originally opened
Okay.
and the yellow one were the only ones I opened.
Okay. And so you put down a pile of other books. You got one of each of the other colors and set them down next to the door. Sherbin, you were reading a green one, or you were holding a green one, and set that one down. Well, you left it where you dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of you
Sure.
go back upstairs. Just in time for Deus and Millie to come home.
Oh, well, Deus would still be at the shop because she's
I thought
working
you said
at.
you were going to work in the
Oh.
backyard.
No,
Did
no.
I completely make that
Yeah,
up?
we rented the table at the manufactory.
Yeah, because Deus is working on a firearm, so she's
Yeah.
staying at the shop. Millie's going back to work on the piano.
I swear I heard you say that you're taking it back home and working on it in the backyard. Did I make that up?
Yeah, I didn't say
What
that.
the
but
fuck?
yeah.
Alright.
No, yeah, I might have mentioned something about test firing the gun in the backyard before
Oh,
Sid
that
offered to shoot
might
the
have-
wall.
That might have been.
Oh yeah.
Alright, okay, so you're back at the manufactory. Millie comes back. And you're there, you're already underneath the piano, looking at the components of it. You've got it propped up on top, you're looking at the bottom, you're seeing what. You've got a saw out already, like one of those hand saws that can be used vertically. And you notice the two of them come up from the basement together.
She'll lean out from the piano, grab the string that has the airship to it, and just kind of like balloon toss it slowly to Sid.
You see, Millie has sawdust all over her hair, like mainly the back of her hair where she was resting on the ground. But the airship flies over to you, dragging the string behind it.
That's is the knight still attached to it?
Yes,
Oh, the knight would have been chilling with me.
Okay.
the knight's no longer
Sorry.
attached to it.
Because that one's a gift to the house. It's not. Millie can't arbitrarily take control of it yet. She has ideas for it.
Did you find another minion? Oh, I don't think I've ever met other Sid. There's another Sid? Huh. Well, okay then. I guess he's somebody of importance. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been invited, I suppose.
Millie,
Where-
sweetheart, what are you doing to the piano? Is it broke? Are you trying to fix it?
No, if you want one of these, you can.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I've committed to this. Millie has invented the FAP, a fully automatic piano.
Are you
Yes.
Oh my!
Then you are a true machinist.
Does that mean when you're taking a break from playing the piano, people can say that you're fapping?
Mm-hmm.
No, they can say that the piano is fapping itself. Yeah, I was writing that out. I'm like, oh boy, yeah, fully automatic piano. It's a machine gun joke. No, it's a sex joke.
Funny how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Fully automatic piano, you say? All right.
Well, that's going to be at least one thing that's going to be the talk of the town. Good luck.
Where's Deus? Deus is back at the manufactory still.
All right, now.
Well, we're. I guess you're as good a person to know as any. We're going to be trying to investigate some of those books down in the vault. If something should go awry, that's where we are.
Did I hear books?
Yeah, Fifi, we're going to be.
Professor, why would you not tell me this?
Well,
I mean, I
this
know
was-
I've been busy, but I've been in my room for the last, 5 hours.
Well, it wasn't a plan until Sherbin came down and suggested it. I was.
I mean,
Really,
you know,
just-
I was the first one who attempted to get those things open.
I'm aware. I was just kind of mulling over things, and Sherbin came down to talk to me, and then suggested that we can possibly transcribe these.
Are you sure you want to go, Fifi? You sounded pretty nonplussed about the books the last time you were there.
I mean, because I couldn't really access what was actually in them. But if Professor Sid's going to be sitting there,
Well,
Being a-
we're actually going to be transcribing the books. He'll open them so that we can read them, and then we're going to be taking notes about what's in the books on pieces of paper. That way, when we close the books, we don't need to worry about the information being lost forever. Do you want to help?
sounds logical. Sure.
However, if we're going to do this, and this goes for you as well, Sherbin, if I say to get out, you guys have to go.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure, and I could blow the place up too if you need that.
Not something I haven't thought of.
I didn't ask how big the room is. I said fireball.
As Millie will gesture for Mr. Bucket to follow you guys to store your pencils.
Well, thank you, Millie.
Fifi takes Millie's chalkboard and walks away.
Oh,
Oh, you meant the bucket. And then she gives it.
She just started she just writes "yup" on the wall.
And immediately one of the household servants comes by and cleans the wall.
Magic erase.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't think that chalkboard had enough space to transcribe an entire book.
no, we're taking parchment.
I know, I just thought Millie was trying to give us something extra.
No, it seems like she's having fun with her project with the piano. She's having fun fapping. She's
Shorthand.
determined.
You should
You have to
name those
admire her.
faces. They're all emotional and stuff. Maybe emojis.
Millie's gonna need that that chart for kids. Like, how are you feeling today?
Oh gosh.
All right, she's going back to work on the piano.
Happy fapping!
What have I done?
Good work.
Yep. Unintentional sex puns are the best kind. So.
Alright, so I think we should probably hurry before Kevin gets back.
Kevin walks to the door.
God damn it.
I'm sorry, Professor. I tried. I want you to know I tried. Everyone in the tavern gave me strange looks. I just don't get it.
What did you ask them for?
I simply said, where do all the masters of the houses acquire their slaves and or paid interns? Unpaid interns, excuse me. And they all looked at me like I was crazy.
Kevin,
Anyway,
It was what?
I'll let it go for now. But if I do happen to find some slaves, I swear, on my
Kevin,
mother's
what?
grave.
Why are you obsessed with slaves? There were no slaves in Cliffside.
Of course there weren't. But
What happened? What happened to? Oh, I'm Kevin, and I'm always willing to put in a hard day's work. No, I want to get some slaves to do it for me, like a lazy butt.
Right.
That's
I
why he
am
had
willing to put
children.
in a hard day's work. I hope the slaves are willing to put in a hard day's work.
We're
because,
not getting slaves.
Look, I figured Fifi, someone like you was smart, but clearly you know nothing about how the world in this place works. And in order to make
As far as
Gil,
I've
you need to
heard,
have slaves. Hey, look, if Inti was
slaves
here,
are illegal pretty much everywhere that we've been so far.
wait, why would slaves be illegal?
Because slavery is bad.
Why is slavery bad? It's someone that's working for you.
You're
You
taking
provide them-
advantage of another person.
No, you're providing them the
Kevin,
housing
what if you
and,
were a
and
slave?
food. And well, I would never be a slave. That makes no sense.
Why would you never be a slave?
Because only slaves are only certain type of people.
Oh, geez.
And what type are that?
A low class, poor people.
How do you identify that?
Oh, that's it. I need to go to that poor district. I figured it out. Thanks, Fifi. I know where to go next. After the ball, I'm going to pick us up some slaves. See, everyone's trying to pretend like you know what it is? Slaves are just so profitable, no one wants you to know about them because then everyone would have slaves.
Kevin, if you bring slaves in this city, we're going to end up in front of that council of executioners again.
Why would we do that? Anyway, I'm going to try to find Q. Maybe Q knows.
Ooh.
All right, talk to you later.
I think he's getting slavery mixed up with child labor.
Wait, you
Neither are
have
good.
children slaves? Oh my god, it gets better and better!
Isn't that what you had on your farm? You had your children help you / work on your farm, and you didn't pay them, did you?
Well, that's what children are supposed to do for the family. That's what my parents did for their parents. It's what I did for my parents. That's
So would you say
the way of the world.
So would you say you put your children into slavery?
Yeah, I think so. I think they did. They were a little bit of slaves. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, no problem.
Shamila's
Stay
gonna
away
give
from
up on
children.
trying to work amidst this ruckus and just start face palming the piano keys if people go away.
Amelia, I don't think that's how you play a piano. And Kevin goes up to his room and waits for the ball.
Okay,
Sure.
honest question, guys. After the ball, are we sure we want to keep Kevin around?
I'm just waiting to see if he's going to attempt to kidnap a child. I mean, I'm willing to start taking bets.
I mean, if he starts trying to just randomly wrap people into slavery, you know, it might be more trouble than it's worth.
Yes.
I'll have to figure something out.
Right? As Lord of the Manor, that should be your responsibility. Keep your
Right. Deferring
keep
slavery.
in line. What are we? Are we your students? Your wards?
I mean, at this point, none of you or you were never my student, and oh, geez,
No, not students. Steward.
Steward. Look. This whole nobility thing is not something I'm comfortable with.
Sorry, I was just teasing you. We have other things to worry about. I mean, unless you want to send someone to... You could send one of the servants along to keep track of Kevin, sort of like a tail.
I feel like Kevin needs one of those, like, real life experiences. We gotta, like, sell him into slavery or something.
We'll maybe we'll start with the tail.
Alright, well, let's go read some books.
Okay. Downstairs you go. Jace, how long are you going to be at the manufactory?
Oh, I don't know, probably a couple hours to
Okay.
work it out together.
So none of this music was playing during that conversation, just FYI.
Oh.
The soothing notes of face to keyboard.
Exactly. Like, you go back downstairs, and the first thing that you notice, it's weird. some of the stuff that was in the basement looks as if it's moved.
Weirder.
You can't really. I mean, it's hard to quantify. You didn't really take perfect stock of where everything was previously, but it just looks like some things have moved. And then
Was there
continue on. Go ahead.
was there any furniture in there besides the bookcase?
In the basement, I'm talking about the part before you go in the sub basement.
Oh, okay.
So the part that was previously open to the public.
Okay.
However, you continue on into the sub basement, and everything in there is just as you found it, including the lights being the appropriate intensity.
No poltergeist at the dimmer switch.
Not yet.
Yeah, there's a switch on the side of the
No cheat.
You just turn it up or down.
All right. Make sure that nothing is blocking the door in case we need to get out quickly.
So did you have the servants? The servants are not supposed to come into the. Well, not here, obviously, but out there as well.
I believe Beatrice put in some kind of rules that stated they're not to really mess around down here without her approval.
Has she gone through anything here? Has
I
anyone else?
haven't seen her since we've been here.
Well, I mean, has anyone gone through the room since the incident with the poker?
I don't think so. I think we've pretty much
Oh my
stayed clear.
I just figured out what killed Fremendane. It was a poker geist.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was awesome.
Sorry, please continue.
Well, something just feels a little off about that room out there, which is odd because you'd think it'd be more in this room with the sigil on the floor. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's something with that wine that you gave me.
No, if it's
It was laced.
well, then we're both going to be feeling it at some point.
I was gonna say THC wine to make him paranoid.
Well, probably me before you.
Let me see here. Wow, I really don't have that, do I? Okay.
Phoebe, you're with them too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just check.
Can we go? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, good.
Can Sherman go to any of the? Would the room be very dusty?
Surprisingly not, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Anything heavy there? Like, what's the flooring? Is the flooring stone?
Yes, it is.
Okay. For peace of mind, I'd like Sherman to go and look around at the furniture and see if there's any scratch marks to see if any of the furniture has been moved slightly.
Okay. You're looking to see if there's scratch marks on the floor or on the furniture?
On the floor.
Okay. There are some normal movement marks near where the chair is, near where the desk is, next to some of the bookcases, but it looks very old.
Okay. Sherman just kind of. She's still not completely convinced that everything's okay, but she can't quite put her finger on it, so she's going to go with the rest of the other people into the anti basement, sub basement, Uber basement.
We gotta have a better word for it.
Sub basement. I like
Sub
that
basement's
one.
good, yeah. I was gonna say the chamber.
The ritual room.
That's what I've been referring to it as.
A rat skeller.
What was that?
A rat skeller? Is that down in the basement?
A rat skiller? I've never heard of that before.
And check something.
The fruit cellar.
All right. So you are all now in the sub basement. You've gone through the descended hallway into the room itself. Everything's as you left it.
I would like to cast alarm on the doorway.
Okay, the door gets very scared.
It should.
You see a large exclamation point appear out of nowhere.
A quest.
No, it's alarm.
Now it has a quest.
Okay, you cast alarm on the door. This is if anybody goes in or out.
Yeah, any creature, any entry or exit.
Any entry or exit, got it. Okay.
Just not us, obviously.
Oh, well, darn. All right. So the three of you are in the room.
Get right back to transcribing, I suppose.
Which book are you opening?
Do any stand out?
We had a stack of all the colors. Previously, we opened a violet one, which was a discourse about the void, and a yellow one that was a discussion on the elements.
Oh,
Fifi,
and how they
go.
related to astral and umbral theory.
Right.
Why don't we just go in rainbow order?
All right.
So, red?
Red.
Sounds good.
Okay. Sid opens the red book. Like the others, this has no title on the spine. The title's written on the inside. And this just says time with a period next to it. Every single word, or every single sentence on every single page says time is a flat circle, over and over and over.
I don't think we really need to transcribe this one.
I'll make a note.
Why would you open up that one if it was already read?
Kevin, there's a knock at your door.
Hey, yo, what? Hey, hello?
Hello, I heard you were looking to speak with me.
Hey, who are you?
My name is Q. I'm one of the household staff.
Oh, are you the Q?
The only one here.
Oh, my, come on in.
Okay.
First off, tell me what you know about the Illuminati. I mean, we talked about it before. I saw your messages. We can talk about the slavery thing later, but the Illuminati thing is more important right now.
So for the next hour or two, Kevin's just continuously stream of consciousness talking to this person, and they look very confused. All right, back to the cellar.
That Q was not paid enough.
So, time is a flat circle. Seems like a very niche concept.
Wow! Oh my god! Well played. Well played. So.
I guess next would be orange.
Okay. What?
It's nothing but orange. You glad I didn't say banana?
Oh, God.
Okay. As you begin reading from the orange book, it becomes clear that the book is describing your ancestors' personal thoughts on the nature of the ethereal sea. And it continues on to suggest that the ethereal sea extends into our world through the use of crystals, and thus the magic energy that you're harnessing is that of the souls of those long dead. And if you're using the magic of the souls of those long dead, how is that any different from just using the souls of those who are currently alive? This book goes on with those kind of questions.
And all of these books have been in similar handwriting to mine?
the same handwriting as yours. Did I ever tell you the name of your ancestor?
I think so.
Okay. I just said it was Lord Vertelaine, right?
Yeah.
Every book is signed off Lord Alcido Vertelaine.
Creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
That's a
seems like
good
he's
term
just
for it.
trying to justify doing bad things.
It's really easy to justify bad things when you get power out of it, Fifi.
Has
I
Sid
need
told
all
us?
of you. I need all of you to roll a perception check.
Has Sid told us? Hey, this looks like my handwriting. Or
That's
has he
enough.
kept it to himself?
Well, that was what I was mentioning when I was saying it's kind of creepy, and I wouldn't have kept the fact that it's written by Alcido Vertelaine secret at that point.
All right. No, Sid,
There-
Lord. Maybe you were named after this person.
Oh, I got a 3, so it's not me.
Was there
Um,
a portrait in the Hall of Portraits named Alcido Vertelaine?
Yes.
Any
It
chance
is.
it was the old lady I graffitied?
No. It is the most recent portrait, though.
Interesting.
26.
15.
Okay. Out of the corner of your eye, sure. Literally at the sides of your perception, out of your peripherals, I mean. It seems as if you see a translucent shape rising out of the circle. But when you look, you don't see anything.
Sid,
Hmm.
did you feel that?
No, what?
I think I saw something move inside the circle. It was out of the corner of my eye, but I know there was something there.
And both of you stay here. I'll go towards the circle.
The room's not very large. I
Well,
mean, okay. All right, you walk towards the circle. It appears exactly as it did before. Although with the book in your hand, everything seems slightly dim.
Does it get dimmer the more books we have open?
No.
we should probably limit our time here at maybe one or two books at a time. Go back up and let it cool down.
I mean, does time as a flat circle count?
Well, we didn't keep that one up very open, very long. So one more, and maybe we should call it.
What if once we transcribe them, we destroy them?
You're advocating burning books, Fifi?
Only the evil advocating of murderous kind.
Well, these have all been theory, but I see where you're getting at.
We don't know anyone's been murdered for this yet.
Besides, these clearly have some kind of cursey magic on them, and we're retranscribing them, so we're not really getting rid of them.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's finish with this one, do one more, and then take a
So
break.
I think we have green. We still have green, and then
Well, we
indigo.
did it. We did a yellow.
All right.
Green would be next.
All right, green it is.
Okay. Sid, as you open the book, this appears to be the 23rd out of 48 volumes on the subject. And it is talking about magnetism and attractive forces. And it's constantly asking how magnets work and offering theories.
Does it follow science at all, or is it just random thoughts about?
No, it does.
Like
It actually
holistic
appears.
medicine.
No, it has. It's not medicine at all. It talks about actual known science of magnetism, but he's questioning the arcane applications of magnetism and how they can be used. how they can make things attract or repulse.
Does he sign it Jesse Pinkman?
Yeah, bitch. I need everybody in the room to make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma.
Narcissism.
Nat 20,
Woo!
Oh yeah.
which gives me a 27.
Damn.
22.
I am proficient in charisma.
A natural 15, which gives me a 14.
It's from all that wine you drink.
Are you trying to tell me that Fifi has a negative in charisma?
Maybe.
It would explain a lot.
Maybe.
Okay. What are you doing?
What was?
What was the check for?
Good question.
Huh. I guess we'll finish scribing that one, and I'm going to put the ones that we've already done in a pile separate from the others.
Right. So we have blue, and then indigo, I think.
Right. We can try. Has it gotten any darker, any worse?
Not worse. Remains
Has
just as
Sherbet,
bad when you open the first one.
has Sherbet noticed anything weirder with the circle again?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think we can come back, but it's up to you two.
I'm fine
Oh.
taking a break.
That sounds like a good idea. We could get more wine.
Fifi, have you been drinking any of the wine?
No.
But Sid and Sherbin, you have?
Like guzzling it, yeah, but I'm sure passing it back here and there.
Okay.
All right, so we'll keep the ones that we've already done separate for now, and then come back to this at a later time.
All right. This is exciting. It was such a productive evening. I'm so glad I came down here to see what you were doing.
Let's hope that it stays interesting and not horrifying, screaming, and murderous.
Oh, don't be such a wet pair of underwear.
Wow. That's descriptive.
I will let them go out first before following them.
Okay. So, Sid, make a wisdom saving throw.
That is a 11.
Okay. Are you leaving the books?
Yes.
Okay. Are you
Closing it up.
the-
Yep,
Okay.
closing it up.
Okay. As you walk away, you've taken your parchment with you, where you've been transcribing,
Mm-hmm.
and you head upstairs. By the time you get upstairs, you realize it's been 8 hours that you were down there. Time has moved considerably. Deus, at this point, you would be back in the house. Millie, you would be finished setting up the player piano at this point.
Cool. I'd be programming it, testing it, performing duets with it.
Yeah.
Perfection.
And you see a blank-eyed, 1,000-yard stare kind of pale-looking servant walk down the stairs from Kevin's room.
No, is there any way Millie would know it was from Kevin's room, or just walk down the stairs?
It's walk down the stairs, but you heard a door close in the direction of Kevin's room. He sees it, and he just kind of nods at you, and then continues walking.
Do we run into Deus as she's coming home?
Hey everybody, what's going on?
Hi, Deus. Oh, now that you're here, you mind if I take a look at your hand again?
Oh yes, please. I'll show you the hand.
I'll pump another heal into that, since it wasn't fully.
Thank you, Professor.
Pump another heal into it. Nice choice of words.
I love it when your energy fills me up.
Better than essence.
No more wine for you, Sid. You're done.
What have you been up to, Deus?
Oh, Millie and I went to the manufactory and we talked to other Sid, and I don't know if she told you, but he said he was coming to the party after all. And then I was working on this rifle right here. It's hopefully it'll serve us well if we're fighting like really large animals or dragons again.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't named it yet, but I'm gonna be thinking about it.
Huh. Good to know.
Magic fingers.
Well, we were down in the vault, the ritual room, and transcribing some of those books that we had in there. Sherman had the idea to do that. I'll kind of lean over and put my hand on her shoulder.
2 thumbs way up. It was quite productive.
Okay.
Great idea, honestly. What was
You
that?
were there all day. You were there all day doing that.
It seems like we were
5
there.
minutes.
What
It
if-
seems like we were there quite some time.
It didn't feel like it at all.
Just one more game, right?
One more book.
Oh. Well, are you any further along in finding the way back to Cliffside?
No, I don't think any of that really came up, but it's really strange. A lot of the handwriting was the same, and there was a lot of finding myself really distracted right now. I'm sorry, guys.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, just hard to concentrate. A lot of information, a lot of wine.
Okay, just don't turn evil, or Kevin's gonna have to sleep next to you.
No, I don't think I'll be doing that. I think I'll be all right.
Also, to get back to Cliffside, maybe we could just go in reverse on a flat circle.
On a flat circle, like a disc, or like a ring?
Apparently, time is just a flat circle, so if we just go in reverse along the flat circle, maybe we can reverse time.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I saw sundials before, and that's pretty much all it is. So, very pointy in the middle, though. Be careful.
That's why we let Kevin go first.
Well, he is the leader. Leads by example. Speaking of Kevin, where is he?
Kevin's coming down. DX, is that you?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Come up to my room. We gotta talk.
Okay. So I guess I'll go up to Kevin's room.
Okay.
Good luck.
So Millie's gonna play music along with Kevin's steps in like a really dorky fashion, like that Family Guy scene where they do the trombone, whatever.
Oh.
All right, DX. So check it. You remember the queue before we left the village? I was getting signs all over the place. Telling me about things and secret conspiracies that were going on in the village.
Well, I remember you were talking to a frog, right? There was that frog you found on the tree trunk that one time?
Right. No, but the frog was Q speaking. It doesn't matter, DX. The long story short, Q followed us here. I just talked to him for at least an hour. He's working undercover here. I mean, he was just nodding a lot, and I kind of got exactly what he's saying. But he's working undercover here, trying to figure out about the cabal that's going on in this very household and potentially the entire village, right? Right? All connected to the Illuminati and gay tree frogs. I know. Came back up. Gay tree frogs. Weird how that is. Somehow, this all connects back to the lizard people controlling the gay tree frogs and being the leaders of the Illuminati. And slavery, it's actually bad. That's the one thing I got from it. Just slaves are bad. Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. That's a break.
That's positive.
Congratulations, Kevin. But here's the problem, right? You're talking about the Illuminati and talking about Q, right? So let's see here. What Illuminati person has a name that begins with Q? Oh, quick think, all thoughts. So you can't trust what that guy's saying because we all know goblins.
Oh my God. Are you telling me this whole time I've been following an actual lizard person named
Sure
Q that I
sounds like
can't
Kevin,
trust?
you've been had. Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? You're my friend. I can't allow you to go and go any further down this rabbit hole. So I think you need to come back to us.
DX, I truly appreciate it. One sec. I peek out the door. Hey, Fifi, can you get some more of that special liquid that dissolves things? I might need it soon. Thanks, DX.
No.
I really appreciate it.
Anytime, Casey. We got to stick together.
The world supply is out. Doesn't exist anymore. That was the last of it.
Oh, and don't forget, Paul's birthday is in 12 more days, so you better get him a nice gift.
Yes. What do you think I should get?
Get him a
Well-
gay frog for a pet.
Wow.
Well, you can get him a frog. Yeah, I mean,
Millie finally speaks.
It's the one thing.
Gay
but
frog.
even that dragon fang necklace I made for you.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't think it was done yet, but yeah, I love it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to give it to you. It was done a couple days ago.
Oh my God, DX is gorgeous. Man, you truly are an amazing craftsperson. You know, I just can't believe you made it so quickly and it looks so beautiful.
Oh yeah, you know me. I got a reputation for being able to, screw things, pound things, hammer things, bang things.
Yeah, well,
Anything you need.
anytime you want help screwing or banging, you know me. I'll be right on your lap, banging alongside you.
I know you're so helpful. Thanks, Kevin.
Hey, anytime. And thanks, DX. You're one of the few people I actually trust. I mean, I would have listened to that Q guy this whole time. Good things to know that slaves are actually okay. Okay.
I don't want to be a DM anymore. I think that was enough.
I thought only Sid was allowed down the rabbit hole.
Oh my God!
Just in case you needed more reasons to retire.
And scene.
Yes, we're done.
Meanwhile, downstairs.
You people were all my students.
You failed as a teacher.
Did he fail, or is this his fault?
I don't think it's his fault. I don't think you could have controlled this.
Wow, dance is hot for teacher.
It's been pretty obvious for a while.
See, most of Millie's puns stayed in her head because they weren't worth the time to write out. The moment would be past by the time the pun was written.
The downsides of being mute.
Yes, the only one.
I can't think of anything else. All right. So, anyone else want to do anything for the evening?
Drink lots of water.
If I was also mute, would I have psionic powers?
Yes.
Just asking, because I'd be mute too.
Took me a second to get it, and then I got it, and it hurt.
I love it. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. All right. You all retire to your own rooms for the night. I assume your own rooms.
I will probably stay in the library with more wine
Okay.
and transcripts.
On your way to your room, Sherbin, you walk by the library. And you see Sid inside.
Sid, aren't you retiring for the night?
No. I'm just so much on my mind. You're welcome to join. I have wine and I have transcripts.
Nursing a bottle this late at night?
I don't sleep much, as you know.
Yeah. Still, it's not. I mean, I'm not one to judge, but it's not recommended to do so, by yourself.
Welcome to join. I don't foresee myself sleeping anytime soon.
All right. But I won't have any wine. I've already had enough, and I'm a bit of a lightweight compared to you.
That's arguable.
So Sherman's gonna go ahead.
Very good idea you had, trying to transcribe this stuff and bring it up here.
Oh, thank you. Well, I mean, I spent quite a bit of time in the library and, in the astrologicum whenever you were studying for an exam. That was one of the techniques I used to help memorize my notes. Transcribe.
Sherbin looks down at the notes that she transcribed. She doesn't recognize any of the letters she wrote.
What? Can I see one of your papers?
Sure. Hand one over.
Every single one is exactly the same, and not just for Sherbin, also for Sid.
Can you read this?
I feel like I was able to a moment ago. Not so much.
What happened? We wrote everything down. This looks like chicken scratch or chocobo scratch.
Chickens also exist, but that's
Bigger scratches.
Trust me, I'm a crafter. You know how much smoked chicken I made for the last raid tour?
I'd also be able to get gains. This is strange.
How's it possible? We worked so hard on this.
Maybe another enchantment, kind of like they didn't want the books to be leaving the room. They don't want any information to be leaving the room.
Do you remember what was on these papers? Maybe. Huh?
You remember what you read? Both of you did.
All right. Quickly, while it's still fresh in our minds, let's rewrite it down on another piece of paper. Now that we're out of the room, let's give it a shot.
All right. Try to write down from memory what about the elements.
Both of you make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Fucking wine.
Yep.
Right. How do we do the disadvantage one?
You roll twice and take the lower number.
Okay.
11.
And that's without the... Oh, that's not a saving throw, is it?
You still get your modifier. Yeah, it's a saving throw.
Yeah. You're +7.
Okay. But I don't do anything with the +4 that I have?
No, that's factored in already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Plus
All
7
right.
total to whatever the lower number that you rolled was.
All right, I got 12.
Okay. Both of you try to write from memory, but everything that you write, even though it feels like you're writing the right letters, comes out as squiggles.
I don't think we should have had that wine while we were doing this. But then again, I don't think it would have mattered.
I didn't want to leave with the books.
No.
I guess it could be some kind of ward or some kind of enchantment to keep the information down there.
Are we still able to remember it right now? We just can't put it on anything?
Correct.
All right. But It's not as if we don't remember it. We know what we've read. We just can't seem to put anything. We just can't seem to put anything onto paper.
Right. Looks like our transcribing plan isn't going to work.
Damn it.
That was Jess saying, damn it, wasn't it? Not sure, but Jess.
Well, if we're going to want to know that information, I guess we're going to have to spend a lot more time down there just reading. And that's kind of a
Either
hinky
that,
proposition.
or we try another format.
What do you mean?
Well, if we can't record it on the paper, would we able to tell someone who was not in the room with us, and then that person could write it down on the paper?
Well, I suppose that's something we can try next time.
I don't think we should ask one of the servants to do that.
I don't think one of the servants would do that.
No, I think we would most likely would be reported back to the Knights for heresy for more than half of what we read down there. What do you
Which
think?
might not be a terrible fact that we don't have that in writing currently, lying around.
Right. That's true, but I feel like this is very important for finding out about your background. What happened to you and your brother?
Well,
I don't consider it heresy personal.
What was that?
I don't personally consider it heresy.
No, but we both have seen our definition and Ishgard's definition of heresy seem very, very different.
Well, Ishgard's definition of heresy seems to change with the tides of the sea, or with the waxing and waning of the moon.
That's appropriate for an astrologian.
We'll have to maybe use the method you're suggesting with Fifi next time we go down.
Well, maybe not with Fifi, since she was in the room with us as well. Who do you think we could ask out of our group to write this stuff down?
Well, I would trust either Deus or Millie for sure. I don't think Kevin would write very well.
Maybe Millie. I think she'd be the quickest writer. She's
Definitely
pretty
possible. All right, well, we'll have to try that plan next time.
Do you think she's awake?
You want to go back down now?
Well, I mean, while we have everything fresh in our head, we could have her write things down now. Because I don't know about you, but if I had too much wine, then I forget half of everything that happened the night before. So I'd rather try and get it down now than tomorrow, if that makes sense.
Well, we can see, I suppose.
All right, I'll see if she's awake. I'll be right back.
Would Millie be awake?
How late at night is it?
9 p.m.
Yeah, she'd be awake at 9.
You hear a knock at your door.
So Miller go and open the door.
You don't call, who is it?
I pull him and just shoot the door.
The Omega method.
Hello, Millie. Oh, could you do us a favor? We need your scribing services. Sid and I are in a bit of a predicament, and we need a favor from you, if it's all right, if you're not busy.
Millie's gonna point to the desk that she was already writing at. She's been transcribing sheet music for the last several hours for the party.
Oh, well, would you like to take a break from that and do some different type of writing? It won't take long, I promise. It'll be a favor to see it. Your
And
favorite
she'll
teacher?
go grab her. Well, I guess she'll just grab her writing set because she's not going to grab sheet music paper for note taking.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
This is gonna go well.
I'm not gonna hit it on the drink.
The drink's empty, so you can try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I get it?
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. It was right there.
Where'd it go?
Did it explode?
No, it was right there by the thing.
It must have fallen down or flown away. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I didn't see it fly, but
It's not on here. All right. Well, we'll see if it's moving around. Okay. Anyway, back to the game.
So Millie will be dragging her feet a bit and just also dragging chalk along the wall all the way down and around.
I hope this works.
Mystery fly.
Disappearing one. Okay. So you approach the library where Sid is, and Sherbin, and how are you having Millie transcribe this? Are you going to tell her what's going on?
Just standard verbal transcription.
Yeah, I'll recite what I remember from the book about the elemental discussion.
Millie, you feel as if they're playing a joke on you and you get very annoyed. Because everything that they're saying is complete gibberish.
I'll transcribe exactly the gibberish with angry faces for eyes.
I like it.
And then just show it back to them. To the same gibberish they wrote.
No. What they wrote just appears to be squiggly lines.
The first time, I mean.
What they wrote, yeah. It
Oh,
appears
so it was squiggly line both times?
What they wrote on their parchment appears to be squiggly lines. What they told you and you just wrote is literally gibberish.
Gotcha.
phonetic joke.
Thank you. I was going to
Phonetic
take that
gibberish.
myself in a few minutes.
It drove me nuts. I just kept hitting it every time I walked in the door.
Okay.
Bob.
Oh, this is this is so ridiculous. So whatever happened in that room must not be. It must not be contained in the room.
Whatever we learn stays either with us or in the room.
Damn it.
Well, thanks anyway, Millie.
Papers, back up the hallway, double chalk up the walls.
I love Millie's tantrums.
Temporary but poignant.
Alright.
Well, chalk that one up to a loss.
I wonder if it's a way to record our voice.
Chalk that one up to a loss? Amazing. Sorry, continue.
I feel like that's something we'll have to worry about another day. I don't know any way that we can artificially save our voice to something else.
Oh, if only Master Sid from the Ironworks were here. I wonder if he knew of a machine that could do that.
Oh, I guess he's coming to the party.
I know, but I'm worried we'd forget about half of it when the. Oh. Well, wait. You don't usually sleep too bad, and you're okay with with the wine?
I suppose. I don't often drink, but
It doesn't really affect your memory too much, and you
Not
haven't
that I-
had too much.
I could have more.
I don't think you should. All things considered.
Are you sure? I mean, we have another bottle.
No. I think under the circumstances, I think it's fine for you not to imbibe any further. The reason why is because if I don't remember everything tomorrow based on what I drink, and if when we talk to Sid, if he's able to create something that can record our voices, hopefully, depending on what we say on the machine, comes back to us as what we actually remember and not these squiggly lines or this gibberish that we apparently said to Millie.
Oh, all right. It's fair enough, but I mean, if you change your mind, I'll be here, probably still reading random books and trying not to
Got
drink the bottle of wine,
it. Well, how about this? I'm going to take the bottle of wine with me. All right?
if you have to.
I think I do.
Well, fine.
Got it. Tomorrow, once we've settled this all tomorrow, you can have all the wine you want. It's your party, after all.
If that's not an excuse to drink more, I don't know what is.
Wonderful, Sid. I owe you. Thank you very much.
Damn it.
Okay.
Right, so Sherbert's gonna go back to her room.
Okay. Shervin goes to her room. Sid, you stay in the library. At some point during the night, you nod off next to the stacks, and you wake up before everybody else in the morning. A little bit of a stiff neck, but you're awake. If nobody has anything that they wanted to do during the day, we can fast forward to the start of the gala.
Let's get the gala on.
There's a knock on your door around 3 p.m., Kevin.
Hey, wait,
Oh.
who's outside?
That would be me, Beatrice.
Oh! Beatrice, come on in. Sorry, I thought you were someone else.
No. I will not be coming in. I did bring, however, this is, Gentilo. This is Gentilo.
Gigolo.
No. Gentilo, he is an aesthetician.
Gigolo the ass-tician.
Ass technician.
What does the ass technician do, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, my dear boy, I'm going to make you look ravishing for the gala.
I just need you to know, I am a married man.
Oh, that's never stopped me before.
Oh God.
The genuine fear in Kevin's voice just left.
There's gonna be no butt stuff, right? We're okay? You're just gonna make me look good, right?
Sorry, Melinda opened her door and came out right as you said there's going to be no butt stuff, right?
I didn't even hear it until you repeated it.
You're welcome. No. I brought clothes that I think we could probably work on for you.
Why didn't you say so? I didn't know that's what an ass technician was supposed to be doing. Okay, yeah. That sounds good. Come on in.
I do kind of like the sound of that ass technician. Maybe a side job. All right, I'm coming in. And he opens the door and walks in.
That's so funny.
When you change your hair, makeup, or like tattoos and shit in the game, you actually go to Gentilo is the person that does it, and he is a very flamboyant aesthetician.
Yes, awesome.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Would recommend.
Okay, so a few more hours go by. The gala is set to begin around 6 p.m. All the household staff is in a tizzy getting ready. You smell wonderful food being baked. You smell desserts. You smell cooking meats, pigs roasting over a spit. The scent of pork and bacon is amazing, except unless you're a vegetarian. I don't know. Is anybody else a vegetarian in this? No. Okay, good. Then it smells amazing to everyone. Everybody's getting their duds on, their ball gowns and suits, accoutrement, I was gonna say. But it seems like the staff is now poised at the doors. There's rows of them ready to welcome people.
Does the makeup guy visit everybody?
Or
is it just Kevin?
Beatrice specifically called him for Kevin, but if you wanted the makeup guy to help out, he left Kevin's room around.
Oh, no, it would have been the opposite. If he tried to help, Millie would have thrown makeup at him. She does it better than him.
Okay, well, no, he wouldn't have come looking for you. Okay. Anyone else?
Oh no.
Sure.
Okay. Slightly before the guests arrive, the door to Kevin's room bursts open, and he walks out.
Looking like Beast from Beauty and the Beast after he gets all.
Kevin is dirty blonde haired with blue eyes, and you've never seen him well kept. He's a farmer, right? He is wearing a sleek black suit, very form fitting, with a blue shirt underneath and a black tie. His hair is slicked back and clean, and his eyebrows look properly trimmed and styled. He has his facial hair has been shaved, leaving only a goatee. He looks nothing like the Kevin that you know.
Wow, Kevin, you look better than your wedding day.
Oh, thank you, DX. I learned so much about an aesthetician. Oh, I'm sorry. Esthetician. Well, he was teaching me how to speak proper and such.
Oh wow.
Oh well, I see you did a great job.
Right. And then, hey, yeah, it made me look all nice. Yeah, I'm feeling like my best. I wish Georgine could see me now.
Yeah, I wish you could too. One day.
One day soon.
The moment of melancholy is interrupted by at the door, and the servants immediately open it, and standing there is Horshafont, followed closely behind by his brothers and his father, Count Edmond. And they look very fancy. They looked good when you met them the first time, especially with Horshafont wearing his armor. But now, bereft of his armor, wearing not wearing a coat. Oh, he had an overcoat when he came in, but he takes it off. He's not wearing a suit coat or anything like that. He's wearing a nice trim blue shirt with a cravat, and nice slacks. And his brothers are also wearing the exact same thing. His father is wearing a green shirt and has his walking stick with him, and is still wearing an overcoat, very frilly.
What was their house name again?
Fortemps.
De Fortemps, yeah. Fortemps. And you guys okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The two of you are both like getting further and further down in your portraits. I'm like, you guys. I'm like,
That is really in character.
yeah. I mean, it's the next day.
And they're probably hungover.
Fair enough. I mean, it's afternoon of the next day. All right, so they're the first to arrive, and they all come in and all in unison bow to the head of house, who's standing at the top of the stairs at the moment, and the entire staff is bent at the hip to welcome them. Hello! Thank you for welcoming us to your lovely home. It is truly wonderful to extend our hand in friendship once again to the Verdelane family.
Thank you for attending, and give a very stiff, uncomfortable bow.
Oh, think nothing of it, my good man. So, do I smell pork? And then after that, they begin to go get some food. Over the next several hours, more people come in, some a little bit later than others, but suddenly the Verdelane Manor is a very lively, busy place.
It sounded like you said, do I smell poor?
Do I smell the poor?
It's really funny.
Roasting poor children on the spit. Delicious. So the din of discussion around the house is drowned out by the piano playing of Millie.
Well, I mean, I had the requests up depending on the
Many
volume.
people have put fast. Nobody has asked for dance yet. Actually, one person has marked dance 8 times, and it is oh shit. Why am I forgetting his name? Not Archwell. What was his name? The other son, the annoying one.
Oh no.
One of Harshpon's brothers?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why can't I think of his name?
I don't remember, but
Nobody likes
It's
him.
gonna bother me. I actually do
redheaded
like him.
stepchild.
I actually do like him, but he grew on me. But not that you would know what that means.
Oh,
But
is his little boy servant with him? He goes with him
Yeah.
everywhere. Nice.
Honorable, the boy servant.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of his name though? Did I block it out?
Emmanuel.
Emanuelaine, that's his name. So Emanuelaine is the one who's marked it like 18 times just for but only him for dancing. And you see him trying to dance to your fast songs. He's doing the same dance the entire time, and it's awful. And
Oh god, just picture it's the fucking floss dance from.
No, it's not. It's not the floss.
I mean, I don't remember how young he is.
It's worse.
Oh jeez.
No, he's like 20.
He's doing the Macarena to every song that's not appropriate
More
for the
or less.
Macarena.
That's the equivalent of it. It's more like he's got his hands going out like this, and then like this, and he's like dancing one foot at a time. Yeah.
Hey, buddy, I got songs for that. That ain't one of them.
Yeah. It's kind of like a river dance, but not nearly as cool. All right. So.
Or Michael Flatley.
What music would you like me to have playing at the moment?
If people are wanting fast, let me look up my list here.
Put them in order of speed.
No, not necessarily. I tried to vary it, but if it's fast, let's go with if Bach, Beethoven, and Chopin had a baby.
Where's that near the bottom?
It's upper, like the bottom of the top third.
Oh, that's not it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Chopin, by the way.
Chopin.
You said Chopin.
I said Chopin.
Didn't?
I thought so.
I thought I heard Chopin. Okay. So Millie's playing this. Wonderful.
Yay.
What'd you say?
Yay.
Okay. Would you like to try to speak to anybody from Ishgard? Would anybody like to make conversation at this gala?
I figure.
Kevin is.
God.
Kevin's dressed to the nines and looking slick. Who are you chatting up?
Let's go chat up one of the proper looking guys from one of the houses.
You're chatting up who?
The guy who talked about pork.
Okay.
Oh my god, they're gonna compare walking sticks.
Yes. So you find Count Edmond de Fortemps, and he's the first one I described, the one wearing the green shirt, and he's got a really cool looking walking stick with a diamond at the top.
Hey, Count, I really like your walking stick, and the thing about pork is, that's straight to my heart. The food here's so good, ain't it?
Yes, the food is quite good, in fact.
Yeah, it's funny that you're a count, because it's so hard for me to count, you know? That's so silly. Hey!
One might call that ironic.
Very ironic. Hey, so what brings you around these parts? I mean, how long have you been in charge of your household?
Oh, well, since I became an adult. My coming of age was 18 years old.
Is that how that works? You come of age and then they give you a house?
Well, if you do not have a surviving parent, that is the case.
Oh, your parents died when you were young, too. My parents died when I was pretty young as well.
Well, you have my condolences. It is not easy to grow up without a family. Did you get it? Yep. Nice. Thank you.
Same, but it sounds like you have a good house, I assume. Whereabouts you live?
In the Fortemps Manor.
Oh, you know what? I thought someone was explaining to me that every time someone comes into the house, they're supposed to have a servant. Servant, not slave. Servant, not slave. A servant introduce you.
That is correct. We were introduced by your household servant.
No one, but they messed up my introduction. I was supposed to be Lord Oh, I'm not a lord. I'm supposed to be Master Kevin Twain, Slayer of Dragons, farmer of Popotos. And I didn't get that introduction. Don't you think that's kind of rude?
Well, let me ask you, Master Kevin Twain, Slayer of Dragons, Farmer of Popotos. Do you live in this house?
Yeah, on the second floor, actually.
Well, Ishgardian custom is such that we do not have our servants announce those who live within the house, just the guests to the house.
Oh, then how you? Oh, but you didn't know who I was, right?
Of course I did.
Oh, you did know. How'd you know who I was?
Well, one does not maintain my position in this city without keeping tabs.
Would it be on the invitations?
I mean, theoretically, yeah.
Ah.
But it would just be about the Vermilion Manor. So it'd be up to you guys whether or not you put everyone in.
Ah, I see. So you're a man, most likely a person I used to know who wasn't real, who ended up being. It doesn't matter. His name was Q. Regardless, you're a person who can get information and knows things, right?
Well, yes, I would certainly say so.
Oh, I might come counting on you at some point, Count. But hey, I just hope you're having a good time. Look at my new ring. I got it from our master of the house. Said I wouldn't say his name.
That is a lovely name. Who was the designer?
I don't know. Master Acido just gave it to us and said it was a gift for our journeys and thanking us for. He was my teacher, right?
Who was?
Master Acido. Right.
Very good. I shall speak with him about it.
Yeah, well, hey, you eat as much pork as you want, and don't worry, the piñata's coming out shortly. Oh, I can't wait to see you try to hit it. I've set a special surprise in all of them.
In the piñata?
Yes, that's right. A custom I brought back from my home. I think you might like.
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to disappoint, but traditionally, it is the younger folk who strike the piñata, not the lords of the house. But if you insist, it's been quite some time since I last have had the honor.
I slap him on the back, not like heavy, not like mean, but like, friendly. Yeah, why let the kids have all the fun,
Poor man has a cane.
Well, thank you for the lively conversation. I shall leave you to your business.
Perfect. You need anything, you come let me know.
Bucket on Millie's piano. Just a reminder.
The bucket already has coins in it. It's got, and every time that Mr. Bucket bounces, the coins bounce. You've already made 150 gold gill pieces.
Sweet.
I go back to Sid.
I would probably still be up at the top of the steps, greeting very awkwardly.
Well, okay.
If people were still coming in.
I mean, it's been a few hours.
Probably not going to be up at the top of the stairs then. Awkwardly mingling then.
Okay.
Hey, Sid. I mean, Master Acido.
Sid is fine, Kevin.
Hey,
yes.
I just want to let you know, been talking to some of your guests. Super nice fellas. That Count over there is super nice. He likes pork. I didn't bring up slaves or anything that you wouldn't want me to bring up at all. We're good. I'm saying this pretty loudly.
On his hand is subject to a voice.
I'm gonna go make sure the piñatas are ready. Oh, it's a great old soiree. A soiree. And I bet I vow. A soiree. Hey, that's right. Soiree. Oh, man, I could get used to this fancy stuff. And I wander off.
Sid, over the last couple of hours, you've received a tremendous number, to the point where it's actually making you a little embarrassed, a tremendous number of compliments on your suit. And most compliments have come regarding your headpiece.
It works.
Oh my, old boy, that does indeed work. What gave you the idea to come up with that?
Listen, I can't take much credit for it. I'm not a fashion forward person.
Oh,
We
I would
went
never assume that looking at you.
well. We went to a fantastic tailor trio of seamstresses in the
The
Jeweled Crozier. Yes,
best seamstresses in all of Ishgard.
yes. My one of my companions, Sherbin, led us there, and they insisted on taking my measurements, and this is what they came up with.
Sherbin, are you anywhere nearby?
She's trying to find the Ironworks Sid to see if he can make a voice recording item
Okay,
thing.
so
Sid, not that one. Sid, not that one.
Alfredo, you actually point towards Sherbin um, when, uh, when you're talking about her. Fine.
And immediately spit take and freeze.
Okay. And as you do, the person that you were talking about, Lord Hallionart, says, "Oh my, if I was 10 years younger, she looks absolutely ravishing."
Oh my!
He's not George Takei. Maybe now he is.
Yes, please make him George Takei, but a straight version, I would assume.
The
He is younger and a he.
the maid, they do great work over there at the Sisters.
Sherbin looks over and she notices Sid gesture toward her, and she just like,
Yeah, fantastic work at the Sisters.
um, as you're stumbling over your words, one of the servants comes and puts a glass of wine in your hand.
Yep. Half of it's gone.
Okay, Sherbin, you're looking for Sid. Are you asking around, or are you just looking for him, like trying to spot him in the crowd?
at first she's trying to spot him in the crowd, but granted, she's only a little bit taller, granted, with the shoes that she's wearing now that go with the dress, but lots of Ella's in. So eventually she's going to have to ask around to see if they've seen Sid from the Ironworks.
Okay, so opposed to the exaltations of Lord Hallionart, most of the people that you ask scoff, do not give you the time of day. They refuse to speak to you or acknowledge that you're even speaking to them. These are the noble types. Although, hearing that you are trying to scoot past some of these people and you're looking for Sid, one of the servants is like, "Can I help you, miss?"
Yes. Have you seen Master Sid Garland from the Ironworks? He was supposed to be here at the party. I haven't seen him yet.
Oh, I don't think he's arrived just yet. He's one
No.
of 3 that have accepted our invitation but not yet arrived.
Mhm. Okay. If you happen to see him if he arrives, could you let me know immediately, please?
Yes, Sid Garland. Was that the name?
Yes, Sid Garland of the
Someone
Ironworks.
looking for me?
Whoop.
As he walks into the door and makes an entrance.
Pop out of my piano. The schematics also included a teleporter and then this is the most complicated player piano I've ever built.
Stop when you said that. That's pretty amazing.
Why did it stop?
In mid-song?
Oh no, I think it's just a down part of the music. Okay.
Oh, probably. I hear it. It's Elden Ring now. Sid is not wearing any of the gear that you saw him at the Skysteel manufactory. Sid is wearing he's wearing a what's a not wool. Fuck it, he's wearing a wool suit with
Cashmere?
Cashmere. That is the word I was looking for.
Fancy wool.
Yeah, cashmere. A cashmere suit with a vest underneath. He's got a bright red tie, and he's still wearing his goggles. The only thing that you recognize him in from previously is his goggles. He's got these shiny black shoes and and nice slacks, and he walks in and he's just you would not recognize him. He's got his hair back in a ponytail, in fact.
Ooh,
It stopped again.
fancy.
Still playing.
Oh,
In fact,
Master
stop the phone
Sid!
at that point.
Master Sid! Oh, could I spare a moment of your time?
Ah, that's why. Give it a second. This froze. This froze.
No.
Yes, yes. Sherbin, was it?
Yes, yes. Sure, Ben. Thank you so much for remembering my name. Um, I do apologize if this is little bit rude, time and place and all that, but this is a little bit of an emergency. Do you know if it would be possible to, if someone at the Ironworks would be able to create something that records sound and able to play it back?
Well, now you've just stumbled on something that's been giving us quite a bit of trouble. We have many ways of transmitting sound, but recording and retaining it is something that we have not yet been able to figure out. The the Allegans, they were able to do it. But that was many, many centuries ago, and we've not yet figured out their technology.
Ah, all right. All right. Well, I figured I would ask. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
I'm very sorry I couldn't be of more help.
Oh no, well, you still were a help. I mean, I still got the answers, and I was able to find you. So thank you very much. You're very,
You,
very polite.
you could actually help me too.
Oh,
I see some people walking around with those little cocktail weenies. Where can I find some?
um, that's a good question. And she looks around and she tries to wave down one of the servants that are. They would be having some servants walking around with like glasses
Now
and
Oh
to
yeah.
orders.
activate his fire.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so she tries to flag one of them down.
Okay. Uh, yes, miss. Did you want some food?
Actually, do you happen to have another tray of the those delicious little cocktail weenies?
Oh, yes. And he flags down another of the waiters. Kind of does the over here motion, right? And somebody comes over and holds the tray out in front of you and sit.
Wonderful. Oh,
And
thank you
sure,
so
take
much.
the tray.
There you go. Okay. So another.
Now,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Sherbin, now having gotten the answer that, or a answer from Sid, she's going to look for the other Sid to relay what she found out.
Okay. Um, sure. Sid, where are you?
Uh, again, kind of awkwardly half milling about, not really moving anywhere, but looking like I'm moving somewhere.
Okay. Sir Emmerich and Estinian have flagged you down, and they're having a conversation with you. It's awkward. Neither of them are wearing their armor, and they look very out of place. Estinian is not wearing a tie. He's wearing a blue button-up shirt with the sleeves rolled up and like 3 buttons open.
He would.
He's also he's also wearing what appear to be jeans rather than slacks. And
Oh my
the boots
god.
that he has on- the boots that he has on are like the kind that fold over at the top. Very fashionable. Jess, do you know the picture I'm talking about?
I think so.
If I can't
Thank
find it, I might ask you to.
It's kind of funny because that's the almost exactly the monk skin I have set up for my monk in 14. It's black
Really?
boots, blue jeans, and it's a button-up jacket instead of a shirt.
Let me see if I can find it. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, yeah. So Estinian's there. Emmerich is right next to him. And Emmerich is wearing a very smart suit, and he looks every bit the lordling that he should be. He still has his sword at his side, which is something that he apparently never leaves.
Is he the only one who's come armed to the party?
No, several of them have come armed, but it's not like they're carrying an armory with them.
Oh yeah, it's the fancy, like this is more of a
Decorative sword.
showpiece than a...
Yeah, although Emmerich's sword is very much not
It's
a
just
showpiece.
fucking huge.
Yeah. And that's the sword that he has with him. But he's well trained with carrying it in polite company.
Turns too sharply, bisects a staff member.
Sid, you hear someone calling your name, and you turn around and you see Sherbin approaching.
Hi. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Hello, Sid. Hello, gentlemen. Nice to see you. She kind of eyes Justinian up and down.
Justinian, miss, and nods his head.
I'm so sorry. Would you two gentlemen mind if I pull Sid away for just a few minutes? Just a few minutes. I'll give him right back. I promise.
By all means. And you hear Estinian say, he turns to Emmerich and says, Emmerich, I'm likely to run away. I'm made for fighting monsters, not for breaking bread with lords and ladies. Yes. And then she pulls it away.
Challenge him to a dance-off. It's a battle of some kind.
How are you doing, Sid?
I am.
You're holding
I'm
your body?
okay.
Yeah?
You look incredible. That dress is amazing.
Oh, thank you. The tailors, the seamstresses, they definitely worth every gill that you paid them. Absolutely.
I feel like I need to send them more.
Well, I mean, I thought we were just going to be getting a dress, but these diamonds, very nice touch. Sid. Very nice.
Yeah. So what's up?
So I found
We're losing you.
it from
Yeah, breaking up.
still.
Oh, that's
Nope.
good.
That's good.
That's good. So I found Seed from the other ironworks, and she's going to sort of try and lead it away to a corner that's not surrounded by everyone, so less chance of someone dropping.
Nope, we're losing you again.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Maybe try restart real quick?
Yeah.
Did that work
I mean,
last
that's
time?
coming out clear what you said just
Is it?
this second.
Yeah, it's like
Maybe.
intermittent. Like you'll be strong and then you'll like peter out.
I wonder if it's the accent. Okay, so she's going to try and lead Sid a little bit away from the throng of people to avoid being overheard. So Sid, I talked to the other Sid from the ironworks, and remember what we talked about last night about possibly, he said that they're actually not able to do it. They can send noise, send sound, but as far as recording sound and playing it back, they haven't been able to do it. So if you can come up with another way to record what we did the night before with Fifi, I'm all ears. How many glasses do you have? Just kind of eyeball.
A half of a glass at this point.
Just one?
Just this one.
All right. Well,
I will try to think of something, and I mean, worst comes to worst, we could also see if Deus and Millie might have any kind of ideas.
all right. Maybe after the party, when there's not too many prying eyes and eager ears about. Sound all right?
Yeah.
All right. But, you look good. You look wonderful in the suit that you have and the hat.
There's a knock at the door, a very loud knock at the door in the middle of your conversation.
She kind of stops and looks towards the direction of the door.
One of the servants opens the door, and standing there is a tall Elizan man wearing a simple brown overcoat. Underneath, he's got a red suit on. Greetings, I'm here for the gala. And you hear some whispering around you. Oh, that's Lord Zemael. So from House Zemael, Dzemael. I trust I'm not late. And it's been 2.5 hours since the gala started.
Hey, Lord Shemale! No, you made it perfectly on time. I was just about to regale all the party guests here about the time we defeated the terrible, mean, horrible dragon, Tiomon.
glad to hear that I'm not late. I brought some guests. I trust you don't mind, and he says this looking directly at Sid. But without waiting for his answer, come in, children, eat all the food you like. And a rush of street urchins, for lack of a better word, come running into the house. There's like 20 or 30, and they're just grabbing all the food they can find and then running out. Oh, well, they didn't stay very long, did they?
Wait, kids! Well, wait for the pinatas. There's special stuff in them. Don't leave yet.
One of the Beatrice comes up to you, Sid, says, Master. Wait, I almost called you Barlino. That's the Stinian's last name. Master Verlaine. This is considered to be an insult.
That is not in every party.
Why would feeding children be an insult?
Well, I guess we'll find out next week. All
Oh,
right.
I won't be here next week.
Why?
I'm going to be in. I might be able to join remotely. I might.
Okay. Doesn't sound like a good excuse.
I'm going to be in where am I going to be? South Carolina,
Wow.
Greenville, South Carolina, for work. Yeah.
All right. Well,
That's
good
fun.
job, everybody. That I expected to get to the gala about an hour ago. Whoops. Yeah, that was fun.
Super fun.
Pretty great. Yay.
Yay, GG's.
By the way, I look hot. If anyone was wondering, I was a hottie bobati.
I hope I described you in a way that you felt was hot.
I felt like I was very attractive.
There you go. That's all you care about. That's all you need.
I was going to try to get in game and get some kind of outfit for Sid, but I just didn't have the time.
That happens. Well, now you have until next week.
That's true.
And maybe we can help you find something.
I'm going to try to get on at some point, probably either Friday or Saturday.
I just went on front of the auction board and just searched for outfits, because then you can open up the preview and then just hit save outfit, and then that way you can get all the different pieces together. So even you can be looking at stuff that's way higher than your level, or
Really?
even a different class, and still have it show in one place.
I'll have
Because,
to try to figure that out.
I had for Billy was a combination of like black mage, white mage, and all class
Oh,
gear.
that's cool. I didn't know you could mix and match like that.
Yeah, for the previews you can. Yeah, plus whatever weapon if you want to have a weapon in it.
I'll try to figure that out.
Good weapon now.
Oh, good
Yeah.
stuff. Lot of stuff happened, and it was only like a day's worth of game time.
Good thing.
I had made a thing that has not thematically happened in the
Can it still
party.
happen next week?
I can't say, even though our pace is slow, I still have a great time.
Ditto.
I
For
wasn't
sure.
trying to fuck with your plans. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, it's just good that it happened that way anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a
Happy accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully this time next week we'll be kicking the gorilla's ass.
That'd be nice.
A gorilla? I'm sorry, what?
The Gas House Gorillas, we're facing them in the playoffs. We won our first
Oh,
game. And we had to avenge Poe's team because they beat him.
Still need a farm for that gorilla mount for the event. Damn.
Easy? Sometimes.
Yeah.
I need to take Bob out. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.
Fun stuff.
Right.
I'm sorry, Jim. I really was not trying to fuck with your plans.
No, if there hadn't been so much time spent in books and things.
I'm not gonna rush people.
No.
So it's like, yeah, I want things to happen as they happen.
That's exactly how they happen.
Is it?
As they happen.
You don't say. You might even say, it is what it is.
Is what it is. Yeah, somebody might say that. Not
Would
me.
you? No?
Somebody else. Somebody else would.
Yeah, there was a lot of time spent in books, but it was good roleplay.
Yep.
And then by the timing of it all, it's my journal next time. So
It's kind of perfect then.
You have all the power, Jimmy.
all the power to narrate how I murder that guy if my thing doesn't get to happen.
I will say, all the kids that ran in and grabbed food ran out. So
Can't kill them.
that particular interruption is over.
Right. No.
Depends on what he does.
Because basically the whole thing was that I had talked to Sid about having part of the evening's entertainment there's the pinatas, there's the food, and then I had made a dance for Millie that I was going to narrate.
It hasn't gotten there yet.
So have we met
Yeah.
this guy before or no? We haven't met this guy yet, right?
No.
How's the mail? No.
No, the names,
Okay.
we've heard the name before.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
we
at least
haven't
the
met
house
in
name.
person.
Yeah.
Like,
The only other house that hasn't arrived, I didn't get to say it again, is House Durandare. Sid seems to be a little bit hot for Sherbin.
I called it back in Falcon's Nest.
Did you?
Yeah. Remember my thing was like, oh, she was like walking really close to him. Her tail was kind of like caressing his ankle.
Oh, yeah,
I
no,
remember
it was,
you writing
the
that
first
in the
was
journal.
that Sherbin's hot for Sid, and then now I think it seems, if anything, it's done more of a 180. Not necessarily in a mutual sense, but it's like now Sid seems to be the one more flustered by it than
Yeah.
the others.
Interesting developments.
When they inevitably ask us how to record audio,